This city is infested with vampire babes who are extremely dangerous, flexible ninja girl who wants to cut you off, a snake demon who's ready to dangerously lick your life out of you. Don't think with the lower head you're going to die, my G. A sundari abs queen who exercises regularly to kill my bro. There's also a fight maniac and many others death traps. Truth be told, living here gives you the same chances to die as in Afghanistan, with the difference that I know all of you would enlist. And all those neck-sucking succubuses have the same goal: kidnap this grown-up Kaneki boy and give him a tough time. But why? Just because bro has a never-seen blood talent and awakened an extremely unique black eye skill that they haven't seen in centuries. These vampire babes are out there to suck him dry, out of blood. But the twist is bro who's actually going to dry them all, because this dude can steal their vampire essence. Like, this dude is out there fighting this girls just so he can eat them for lunch. When I say eat, I mean feast, because he's putting those demonesses under his wing and munching on them 24/7. See, this lethal ninja assassin is one of the strongest vampire in the city. Superhuman speed, superhuman reflexes, and strong. But she's questioning herself. Why is she getting pushed back by some random guy? This bro used to be just your average special forces agent. Now she's getting cut, and she can't believe how strong he got in such a short time. She was about to drive her sword deep in my boy guts, but that was a trap because he just holded her arm and sent her head to a different tax address. Thank God she comes back, because we can't be losing well-drawn girls in a story like that. Back to brawl, punches, dodges, and my bro began his feast and just hit his protein macros for the day with her arm. She's shocked and sends a flurry of cuts, but bro is on his gym arc and won't stop munching. Girl had to cut her arm clean off just to get out, just forfeited the protein bar. But wait, this dude was just a regular-ass soldier, so how is he built like that? Rewind. Everyone stares like, hey, who are you? Do not come in here. The protagonist walks in like he owns the place. He pulls out the sashimi maker and rushes the yakuza as they come at him. He goes for the first stab, he blocks it, barely missed his head. He shoves an elbow and then a quick bite to the neck. Choke yourself out or you are going to die. Another one comes from behind, but Soo-Hyuk is ready. He was told there were at least 10 non-combatants to eliminate and 20 combatants too, so he was literally in a 1 versus 30. The boss asked, how many agents do you need, Kim? And he said 3 besides himself. The boss said that might be too many, and Kim said there are 3 exits, so that is the minimum because this is a total extermination operation. And he knows no matter how many Yakuza are there, nobody is beating his brothers. One of them talks on the radio like, bro, this is way too easy. They are known as NIS, the black agents who survived hell. Kim warns that inside, everyone will be under the influence of the baking soda. There's only one exit, which is that door, so block everything and kill everyone in that room. The door starts opening and Anna Nanayama is in there enjoying herself. The protagonist finds a trio, and he gets startled while his friends ask what happened here. Everyone in the room is already dead. He tells them to find the targets and close the door so nobody escapes. Then the chandelier turns on and blinds everyone. Someone who touched the door button says, all right, it is all sealed. The boss wants to know who is next. Kim Soo-Hyuk realizes he walked into the nest. She was not kissing anyone, she was holding the other girl's head like she wants to know how he's going to get out with his brothers. He is sure they are all standing in front of death. Anna calls to the guy in the back and throws a head at him. The second he catches it, a bullet blows the kid apart. First one is gone. Another friend turns calling for Soo-Hyuk, then gets furious and charges Anna. The protagonist tells him to wait, saying the opponent is not normal, but then another shot to the head and the kid gets painted red. Anna says it does not matter how many you are still insects. What do you think you are going to do? Soo-Hyuk pulls his knife trying to think. They have to stay calm because she is way beyond his level. He focuses thinking he cannot back down, and then she snaps what looks like a tooth and he barely dodges. She laughs, saying he is interesting. A burst of shots starts and he is actually dodging. Then she comes in for a direct hit to the face, but she only taps his head smiling and throws him across the room. On the floor wrecked, he realizes this is impossible. Something is off about her power. She jumps in and it gets brutal. She blows out both his knees. He screams and she says she really likes him, then slams her hand into the floor. She is even more excited to make this fun. She spins the knife while he asks if she thinks this is fun. All those lives she took that as what she calls fun. He screams at her and bites her neck, hard ripping a chunk out, then grabs glass and jams it into the bite. Then smoke seems to come out of her, and suddenly she collapses on top of him. Kim feels like he killed her. Finally, revenge worked. He just wants to apologize to his brothers because he died alone. But he will join them soon, and then he coughs up more blood. Anna says that was really unpredictable. Even though he is human, that neck bite was impressive. The wound starts regenerating. He asks, what are you? And he starts freaking out, yelling while she tells him not to try to understand because it does not matter. But at least he is the first one she found who is like that. She hopes he made it. Whatever that means, because she keeps stabbing while he is dying and not much time passes and the kid strikes a pose and dies. She is disappointed, saying he really was not anything special, just another pathetic one. Then some guys rush in yelling, asking if the boss is okay, and she looks at them and instantly kills one, then tells the others to clean up the bodies. And yeah, she is Japanese. That is how the protagonist ended up in those 33 urns, but now he is getting up, saying some people say death is what gives life value, but what if he refuses to die? The guys around him stare confused, not understanding what is happening. The cigarette guy says it is weird, but do not worry, he is clearly dead. Another guy says it is rigor mortis when muscles react after death, it is creepy. He must have unfinished business on Earth, so he's getting up because of that. Then the guy puts the cigarette out on his neck and says enough, let us bury him already so he can rest in peace. But the burn instantly regenerates and the Yakuza freaks out. The protagonist stares, cracks his bones, and says looks like I am not dead yet. He gets flashbacks of them going through the door with his friends and then everything disappears. Something grabs his mouth and next thing he knows he is being pulled into mommy's arms. She stares at him and says, looks like it worked, you are a daywalker now. He opens his eyes and sees a blue sky. He is on that ship with a headache, not understanding what is going on. In front of him, everyone is dead. Not just the barrel guys, but the ship guys too. He has no idea what happened. Then someone calls for the team leader Soo-hyuk. A guy in a boat next to them says they are from headquarters and he needs to come with them. He wants to know what happened on that ship. The guy says, "We are investigating. Looks like you completed the mission and you do not look tired." Soo-hyuk says no, he is fine. The guy says the trip is not short, so he should rest. Then he pulls out a mask and gas starts filling the car. Soo-hyuk tries to stay awake, but he is done. The guy says they managed to recover the species. The director smiles, praises everyone, and says, "Send him to the lab, we start dissecting immediately." He is excited, saying he finally got it. As soon as the car stops, he is like, come on, call all the scientists, let us take a look, there are so many experiments to do." The guy with the green mask opens the trunk and freezes. Of course the brothers are inside, and if that is true, then the driver is done. Shots go through the glass. Soo-hyuk was not team leader for nothing, 3 headshots instantly. Glasses guy is covered in red, not understanding what happened. In half a second, everyone is dead on the ground. Then someone gets out of the car and he panics. He tries to run, calls all units, orders them to eliminate the man. But Soo-hyuk is moving like he is built for this. He is transformed immortal, and his senses are dialed in. They want a gunfight, but he is playing it like CSGO. 1 bullet to the neck, 1 to the other guy's head. Another comes in with a knife, he dodges, hits the elbow, and finishes him. 2 more come from the side, he steps back, avoids the stab, grabs his shoulder, throws him back, and another headshot. 1 guy smashes his face into the car and gets a bite to the neck. But someone else with sharp senses lands a headshot. Someone says, "All right, it is handled, check this guy." Too bad they do not know he is different now, because even on the ground he drops 2 more. He slides out by the car, hits 2 more headshots while the guy is like, "Something is wrong, I shot him in the head." Soo-hyuk disarms him, grabs his collar, locks in a choke, and says he is done for what he did to his team. They dedicated their whole lives to this country and they tried to kill them. In that moment, he realizes they were sacrificed so that guy could reach his goals. And he will make him understand that was the worst choice of his life. Soo-hyuk already noticed 2 or 3 times he should be dead, but nothing happened. He does not fully get what is going on with his body, but he is still himself. He is an agent. All he does is gather intel and eliminate targets. Glasses guy says, "Leader Soo-hyuk, I will explain everything, okay? There were certain circumstances and we were going to give you a promotion." Soo-hyuk shoots him in the leg and tells him to sit there. He says he will answer what Soo-hyuk asks, and Soo-hyuk wants to know what they did to him. The guy says there is a misunderstanding, it is not exactly, and then another shot. Soo-hyuk says the third one comes the moment you say something useless. The guy on the ground says even when it looks like you will die, you come back and your wounds recover right. Some of Anna's subordinates were like that. That is how they rose to the top in Japan, even though it is new here. It is something to do with that technology, and they wanted it too. Soo-hyuk understands that is why there have been so many deaths lately. The guy says yes, they wanted information, but everyone kept dying. So they revised the plan. Instead of sending someone mediocre, they sent someone competent. That is why you were chosen. When that woman entered Korea, she brought this new technology. Imagine now that you have it, you can do missions with no risk. You are the hero. Soo-hyuk shoots him again. The guy yells, "I am telling you everything, why are you shooting me?" Soo-hyuk says because you are talking about being a hero when it is obvious the plan was to use him in a lab and dissect him. What he wants is information about that person. And he is talking about casualties like they did not already have enough info. Everyone who died, it was because of his greed to get that technology. They could have saved so many lives from his group. Then the guy suddenly defends the Yakuza, saying those guys are people too. And anyone who accepted the mission knew risking your life is part of it. He even gave medals to those guys, so why is Soo-hyuk complaining now? Soo-hyuk kicks him in the mouth. He says enough, do not say anything else. It is time for him to feel the pain everyone felt, and it will last at least all night. A precise shot hits the knife. Soo-hyuk knew that bastard would not die easily. Cars pull up and they order him to drop his weapons while the boss on the ground asks why they took so long. 30 soldiers aim rifles at Soo-hyuk. Even with immortality, he knows it is not smart to get turned into Swiss cheese, so he runs for cover. They open fire and he gets stitched up. He drops like a slab of meat at a market while the boss stands up laughing. "You're done now, we just need to tie you up and take your blood." Finally, they will deal with that Anna and anyone else and they will control this city. Soo-hyuk, you worked hard, but this is the end. Right then, someone appears upside down, calling out, asking if the guy on the ground is Soo-hyuk. The boss stands up confused. She seems to be talking to the squad leader Ayaka and says she found the Yakuza they mentioned. The boss orders them to kill her immediately, but she jumps off the roof, lands behind them, and before they can turn heads, start rolling. She moves through everyone like a ninja, handing out stabs. They try to shoot, but it looks like she is making blood barriers. She strengthens the knife and blocks bullets with the blade. They do not get it, but it is too late. She is on you and you get sliced up. Then a kick to the head smashes his head into another guy's head and she rushes forward and tears another one open. A sniper lines her up and fires. The bullet comes in and when it gets close to her neck, she turns and cuts it in half. They cannot understand how someone cuts a bullet, but it does not matter because another one gets ripped apart and the brutality keeps going. Nobody even has time to react. A bite to the neck, another head hits the ground, and she slowly walks up to the leader on the ground. All he can think is she is a monster and he is not getting out alive. She reaches the protagonist and kicks him in the head to wake him up. "You're Soo-hyuk, right? Anna told me to bring you in now." The main guy is there grinding his teeth, cussing that woman out so hard I cannot even repeat what he is saying. She just tells him he did not get it. It was not really about bringing him to her. He is going to be taken to her. Knife fight. She even compliments him, saying he is impressive. He is completely exhausted, wondering if he lost too much blood. His vision is blurry. The longer this drags on, the worse it gets. He has to end it like this. She comes in again and says he lasted a good while, then she swings a sword and knocks his arm up and says this is the end. A stab to the chest like, come on. Chill girl, I can hold this arm and now I got you. She is like, damn, this guy is insane, it is over. He slashes her neck. Brutal. You think he lost his woman? Never. He slices her into 66 pieces. Her head goes spinning like a top. He drops to the ground wiped out. He is sure he cut her head off, so he finally won. The bad part is his mind is starting to shut down. Looks like he is dying again. The even worse part is she is holding her own head and says he is impressive. When he looks, she is right there staring at him. Well, not really staring, just face to face. Open your eyes, how are you seeing? She grabs her skull that got disconnected and reconnects it to her body. He is in shock and she says Miss Anna is going to find him very desirable. He wants to do something, but his body is not responding. She says he did well, and when he wakes up, he will be face to face with Miss Anna. He is furious, while she thinks he should be more obedient. It is crazy that his blood supply got cut and he is still conscious. Either way, they should head back because it is late. When she goes to pull her sword out, he is pushing himself up on the blade. She cannot believe he is actually standing. He comes in to throw another punch and she says, enough pushing yourself like this is stupid. Boom, she cuts his arm off. Still trying to act tough. At this rate, I will cut everything. Then he smashes her in the mouth. He knocks her mask loose. She steps back and he rushes in. He is going all out now and he already got his arm back then. He slashes and she has to dodge, but she still gets scratched. He jumps again. She is shocked because his recovery looks faster than she expected, and then he bites her arm and the whole eating women thing starts. He's like a rabid dog while she throws a chain of slashes, but he does not stop. Then she feels something like her central nervous system glitches and she realizes at this pace she is actually going to lose. She pulls her sword, tries to retreat, and ends up far away without her arm and has to abandon it. He is chewing on the arm like he is starving and it looks dried out. Does he have some power to absorb other people's blood? She does not get it while he is screaming like a maniac. Then he takes a bullet to the head. She blocks shots on the left. Then another bullet hits her shoulder and she has no idea what just showed up. A gang stops in front of her. It turns into Blade out of nowhere. A short-haired girl shows up calling on the Father in heaven, saying they are sending those two upstairs. A new troublemaker. The kind with a cross in her eye, you already know her miracle is something else. The order to fire goes out and the shooting starts. They only hit the legs, making both of them drop to their knees. Cross girl says burn that one. She pulls out a sniper with 6 firing holes and pins him full of shots. I thought burn meant fire, but he is getting electrocuted by like 7 or 8 chains. The woman on the ground is in shock because the sun is about to rise. She is getting burned. Cross girl says it should not hurt because hellfire is twice as hot. The ninja goes in to punch her, saying she is just a human, then she gets stomped and her hand is completely wrecked. Cross girl tells her to shut up because today she is going to die by her hands and soon all her friends too. Then she hears yelling and turns. He is standing up while being electrocuted and she is confused because the weirdest part is he is getting hit by sunlight and nothing is happening. The ninja sees the opening and slips away using what is left of her blood to escape. Cross girl wants to chase her, but the guys next to her are calling for help, saying this bastard will not die. He goes to finish another one, but she cuts his arm off again. She tells everyone to back off because he seems strangely dangerous. She comes in with another slash with that insane sword and he blocks. It regrows his arm and throws a punch. He is about to land it, but she sidesteps and smiles all happy, saying good thing she did not kill him earlier. She loads up a punch with some holy solar power or whatever, and he gets blasted into a wall far away. She walks up asking where he has been hiding all this time. They have not seen anyone like him yet. When the smoke clears, she freaks out. Soo-yuk is eating a guy in the middle of the fight. Looks like it is another trait not everyone has. He screams again, and she says something is wrong. He has to die. Right there, this is not normal. She powers up an aura on the sword, tells him to come at her, and then he suddenly drops to the ground. No doubt he gave everything just to survive. He has been fighting since that whole Ananayama mess trying to stay alive. He opens his eyes, hearing someone yelling, Captain Suhyok, Suhyok. He sees the leader, the commander, asking if he is conscious. The church girl is calling him too. He asks who she is and notices he is completely chained up. She says, Kim Suhyok, listen carefully. After considering your actions, we decided to kill you because you became a vampire. Poor guy, I just said he did everything to survive and he wakes up staring at death again. Of course, he has no idea what she is talking about and tells her to stop making things up. She grabs his face, bites her finger, and lets the blood drip, and he instantly feels it. It hits him hard and he freaks out, give me that blood. Then he snaps back like what happened. She asks if he believes now. He does not understand why he reacted like that. The commander says he cannot believe it, but it is true. They have videos of him destroying the whole boat and the bodies were completely mutilated. He is still lost. She says he was insanely careless attacking Anna without knowing who she is. Now he finds out that woman is a vampire too. How did even national intelligence not know? She says it is obvious because killing them is the Vatican's squad job. They basically dropped the Pope into the story. By the rules, he should already be dead, but he will get a special chance if he wants to become her little dog. He is confused while the commander is basically ready to bark and she says they have a common enemy. So how about they stop fighting each other and kill Anna together? Nice angle. Scene cuts to a building with soldiers at the door talking about the cartel and Anna Naniyama. They say they need to solve this fast, so why can nobody catch that insect? There's nothing left of the girl, she is wrecked. She apologizes, but Anna says she knew it, she should not have trusted her. Then Anna takes off her mask and gives her a little kiss. The moment she feels Anna's blood entering her body, everything reconnects. Now we see the ninja walking through the city angry as hell while a blonde watches from far away. In the car, Soo-hyuk is thinking about the choice they gave him. Die now by her hands or become their dog so they can kill Anna together. The commander warned him, Kim, it does not matter what we want, the people you killed were from the director's faction. We have no choice but to treat you as a target. So they are in the car and the girl asks if it is really that hard to believe he became a vampire. He says he does not care. He just wants to know why he is being dragged into this. She explains that if it was not for what she did, her whole faction would see him as a target. He would be killed fast, so it is better to accept at least getting the revenge he wants. He asks if she is really going to trust him like that, and she says, not a chance. She only trusts the enemy of my enemy as my ally, and that is it. This is their base, literally the church called the sanctuary. He asks, so it is just the cathedral? She says, yes, just a cathedral in the middle of the city, totally normal and perfect. He is like, yeah, makes sense. Then he notices they are not going to the church. She says that is not the destination right now. The sanctuary is protected by holy artifacts, so he cannot enter. Also, even if he is a squad member right now, he is a target for Anna. That is why he is a special case, and she decided she will handle him, meaning he has to live with the tomboy girl. He even gets a little hotel set up. They will provide locations and leave no records. She sits on the bed, and I did not even notice her hit move thing, and she says they still have not introduced themselves. The bed almost breaks. She introduces herself as a Vatican member named Mirror. He says his name. She says he probably has a lot of questions, so what does he want to know? First, he wants to understand the vampire thing. She says he finally accepted it as real. Vampires are simple. They can keep living as long as they consume human blood. The hard part is they have physical abilities beyond anything else on the planet, plus other special abilities, and most of them come from the blood of ancient vampires. And among the ancient ones, Anna is the only one left. He remembers biting her neck, so maybe it happened right then. He asks, how do you kill one of them? She says they burn to death in sunlight. The only exception she has ever seen is him, and that is probably why Anna is targeting him. But it also gives them a huge advantage because now they have a chance to force a confrontation with her. For that, he needs to get much stronger, and she is here to help. Now he gets why he was brought in. He says he understands she is scared of him. She is shocked, and he keeps going. Without the sun limit, I can become the worst vampire of all. Staying near me is dangerous, and killing me means losing huge potential. You're using the public enemy label as an excuse to monitor me and remove me the moment I become dangerous. Mirror smiles and says he was not a top agent for nothing. She says in the end, he is still a vampire, but he still has to do his job as a squad member. It is true, he wants to kill Anna, and for that, she wants to make him stronger. If he has any complaints, he can say it, and they will deal with it. Soo-hyuk says he has died countless times, all he wants is to kill Anna, and he does not care about anything else. And she should know he is not there to submit to anyone. Mirror thinks he is being honest and does not like hiding things. He is willing to follow her for revenge, even knowing the risks. She likes that boldness, and it will be a pleasure to tame this beast. Then she says it is time to eat. He is like, wait, you want me to bite your neck just like that? She says, like it or not, he is a vampire, and if he goes without human blood, his body will stop moving. Also, it looks like he goes into a crazy frenzy when he needs blood, so to avoid that, they need to keep him supplied. He gets it, stands up and stares. She says her neck is cramping, so just bite already. Fine, you asked for it. He goes feral. His eyes go wild, and he is drinking like he has not eaten in days. He thinks he is going to drink it all. He remembers Anna saying he was interesting. Then he snaps and shoves her away. What is wrong with you? You did not even take me to dinner. He wonders if it was just instincts taking over. She is gross and goes to sleep without even wiping her wet neck. She says he is busy tomorrow, so he better sleep, and she turns away, warning that if he keeps stalling, she will kill him. Seeing the mark on her neck, he wonders if this is his new everyday routine. Still, he clenches his fists because all of this is necessary for the revenge he wants. Even if he is a vampire physically, his heart is still human. His brothers can rest because he is going to send that bastard to hell. He lies down. He's about to sleep, but something is off with Mirror. The moment you see that cross in her eye, it is obvious. She's already like, why is he sleeping here? Why is he sleeping near me? Then it clicks, there is another door open with another room. She wonders if she forgot to mention it. Still, why did he just lie down without worrying? It is kind of unbelievable. She is a saint. She cannot be sharing a bed like this. She turns red, saying she did not imagine Soo-hyuk was like that. What a lustful guy, full of impure thoughts. He is sleeping peacefully, while she is about to explode and turns away, saying she needs to calm down. She starts praying, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be our name, while he is just there. Then he moves in his sleep like some lazy vampire and smacks a mosquito on her stomach. She was already about to blow up, and she goes into overload. Next thing you know, it turns into a fight. Next scene, a parking lot, staff-only area. The wide-hip girl says she will explain how to kill a vampire. Normal weapons do not work. She says there are two effective ways, one is sunlight and the other is silver. Just touching it causes a burning pain on the skin. And if you use that kind of weapon to decapitate them or destroy the heart, vampires die too. That is when the main guy gets it right away because that girl he ripped the head off earlier is still alive. Mirror explains it like, yeah, that is how it works. Got any other questions? He wants to ask something like, okay, you said your name is Mirror, so sorry about last night. I was dreaming and I thought I was already loyal, and she cuts him off by punching him in the face. He stays calm because he is a trained agent. He blocks and asks, what do you think you are doing? She is pissed and tells him to drop the small talk. They are here to train, and he already has the basics, so they are starting right now. What he needs is real combat experience against non-human entities. Even if in the future he is going to get even stronger as a special ops member, he still has the bonus of vampire strength. If he understands, then he better get into position or he is going to get wrecked, and she hits his arm again. He thought there was no human stronger than vampires. He believed that was true, and then he finds out he is just a little frog at the bottom of a well, staring up and not seeing reality at all. So the poor guy gets completely destroyed. He has no idea what she is even doing. He is there spitting blood, saying he can take it, and he charges again at our dear tomboy. She just stands there saying he is improving a bit, but he is nowhere near good enough. Then a guy opens the door calling for Mirror, and she asks what is it. He apologizes but says she has to go to the sanctuary right now. She thinks that is weird but says, fine, it must be to get things ready for them to go. She tells the main guy she will be back soon and he should wait. I will say this, out of all the stories, this is one nun who knows how to dress except when she is at home, but you cannot blame her for that. She is fully covered with her little cloak. Does she have a giant sword on her back? Yes, but at least she is dressed well. She asks why she's being called to the sanctuary, and the guy says nobody told him, he did not get the details. Mirror knows exactly one of the few entities that could call her in a moment like this. Looks like those people have arrived. A light turns on, the car speeds up, we are on the road, and she is being watched from far away. Someone catches a strange smell and says they found him. That damn Kim Soo-hyuk is there, standing like a total Chad after getting beaten up. They get to the church and she says Bishop Mirror is present. What brings you to the sanctuary? The guy in front with his back turned says it is an honor to meet the bishop. He thanks her for all the hard work and says they are grateful for everything she has done. Then he says, let us skip the formalities and get to the point. You brought a vampire with you, did you not? She just stands there watching. Damn, the scene changes and I wanted to know what happened. Now it looks like we are at a motel lobby with a bunch of fancy people and someone welcoming someone else. The guy asks to check in, and the clerk asks for his ID and how many people are in the group. The guy reaches into his pocket and says their group is kind of big, around 200 people, and he pulls out a machete. Man, this city is about to get empty because the first guard drops to the floor. A woman screams while a guy rushes in, telling everyone to help evacuate. He says it will be better if he handles it alone. Then a light comes from the back and he looks at the entrance where a bunch of cars are pulling up. Uh-oh. The limos crash and breaking all the glass, the Yakuza gang steps out and now it is 3 versus 200. They are yelling, asking how these bastards have the nerve to come here, and someone gets hit in the chest. We are screwed. The guy starts regenerating, so no way, they are all vampires. One of them is drooling and comes in, and yeah, it is over. It lasts no time, he is dead on the floor. Someone says teaming up with the Vatican is stupid. Kim Soo-hyuk must be around here, so since they are under the effect of that, there should be no problem. Then our ninja orders them to bring him now, and the gang runs off. She looks to the side and tells someone to destroy the control room, then regroup with everyone. The blonde who always moves like some kind of primate is named Coco, and she says after this, she wants to eat until she is full. She closes her coat, says she will see them later, and walks off. The ninja watches, and now we see someone going up to floor 18. She knew Mirror had left, so only weak people were left. Still, she was careful and brought subordinates under the effect of that, so there is no way they fail. Then her expression changes when she sees everyone she sent is dead. She cannot understand how they got defeated. Then someone behind her says it has been a while since they last saw each other. She turns and the main guy shows up asking if she is looking for him. Now he knows she is a vampire. Then the scene cuts back to the church, with Mirror listening to someone say a vampire in the Vatican squad is hard to believe. He does not doubt her judgment, but she will have to explain all of this at the next bishop's meeting. Looks like she saw it. She says yes. After monitoring him for 3 months, she found no risk factors. He has been going through Vatican training seriously. Wait 3 months already. Whether he leads the group to ruin or salvation, she still does not know. But she saw it. The red-eyed vampire who can stand under the blazing sunlight. The boy builds that aura saying today they settle this. She says this is insane. She is getting pressured, cuts on her thigh, cuts on her arm, and she cannot believe he got this strong in that time. What did he do? He says he is going to repeat her words exactly like she said before. She held up well, but it ends there. He sweeps her legs, throws her to the ground, goes in to finish, and she is shocked, but the knife stops right in front of her. He is shaking and she does not understand why he stopped. Looks like he is out of gas. His body will not move. Or maybe not, because someone arrives, saying everyone gathered. A green snake is. Wait, the girl shows up, devouring everyone, and the outfit she is wearing is intense. She is the leader of squad number 5, known as Katarina. Kim wonders if he cannot move because of her ability. The ninja orders Katarina to take the boy down. Katarina tells her to relax and says nobody needs to tell her what to do because she was going to take him down anyway. Then the snake comes flying fast. It goes straight at the ninja, wraps her up completely, and crushes her. The main guy is confused, so she is not here to help the ninja. He asks why she is doing this. She smiles and says because she wants to. An unbreakable toy, yes, that is exactly what she is looking for. No matter how handsome a human man is, in the end, they all die or get ugly. That is why she wants a vampire man, and she did not expect to find one like him. She tells Soo-hyuk to come over, and he cannot control his own body. What is this? He drops the knife because who knows if she has some kind of controllability. She already has him marching around and says he will be a slave who moves however she wants. So what do you have to say now? She licks him and says she wants him forever. The ninja says Anna will not allow that, but Katarina says she already did. As long as Katarina guarantees Soo-hyuk is safe, nothing else matters. All Katarina has to do is eliminate that person and the useless friend. Then the little venom snakes go into the ninja's neck. The ninja is sure it is a lie because Anna would never say that. The virus is spreading while Katarina just stands there with her arms crossed. Soo-hyuk still does not fully get what is happening, while Katarina puts a hand on the ninja's face and says she held on for a long time with that useless talent. Now it is the end, and she orders the snake to devour her. Then Coco suddenly appears, calling for Ayaka. Katarina looks over and sees Coco walking in with confidence. Coco does not realize what is happening and celebrates, saying she solved everything. Then she sees her friend inside the snake, completely torn up. She grabs her and asks what is going on. Katarina says it is Soo-hyuk's fault, he is the one who did that to Ayaka. Coco starts crying while Soo-hyuk has no idea what the hell is happening. It was already hard dealing with one woman, and now another shows up, and then another. Katarina tells Coco to calm down because they secured Soo-hyuk. Now they can go back to Anna. But Coco notices the obvious and asks if Soo-hyuk did this to Ayaka, then why does Ayaka smell like your poison? So yeah, Katarina's plan gets exposed. Next chapter, flashback, so we learn the villain's past. Ayaka is in a cell, an abandoned kid. Coco says, hey, it is okay, I am Coco. What is your name? Back to the fight, Ayaka wakes up and looks over at Soo-hyuk, asking if she finally woke up. She is confused, how is he standing? Is vampire recovery really that different? She asks about Coco, and he says it is not looking good. Up ahead, Coco is slicing through Katarina's snakes, but they keep multiplying, and then another explosion hits. Coco stares the creature down and forces its mouth open. She glares and rips the snake in half, pulling it apart by the mouth. Soo-hyuk says she is holding up well, but the matchup is terrible. Plus, since Katarina's power is poison, it is hard to get close to her. Ayaka says, at this rate, Coco is going to die. Suhyok says Ayaka's body is trash and asks her to tell him what she knows about the snake woman, so he can handle it. Ayaka does not get it, and he says if the three of them team up, maybe they can win. Ayaka is like, you want to team up with me? We were trying to kill each other a second ago. He says it is the best option. Ayaka refuses to believe it and says it is ridiculous. He says then he has no choice and goes in to stab. Meanwhile, Katarina is shocked because she used way more blood power than she wanted, especially because of that unexpected idiot who showed up. It makes no sense. Coco is not poisoned yet. She is sure Coco is not immune. Then she realizes Coco is just holding her breath. When Katarina tries to act, she gets punched hard in the stomach. Do not kill her too soon. Let her kidnap Suhyok for 24 hours so we can see what happens. Katarina gets thrown back, poison leaks out, and Coco finally breathes, saying a few more seconds, and she would have passed out. She looks around for Ayaka and sees Suhyok near her. But Coco is out of energy too, her vision is blurry. In the end, she did get poisoned. A little snake on the floor bit her ankle. Coco wonders if she overestimated Katarina. And Katarina is back. We can still dream about those 24 hours captured. Katarina walks up saying it is funny how close Coco and Ayaka are, so she will make sure they stay together forever inside the big snake's mouth, and she goes in to devour them. Then a slash cuts through. Both of them are surprised. Ayaka is back, and I thought it would be Suhyok showing up to farm Aura. Ayaka says she and Coco will be together forever. She is happy, and now Katarina is confused because Ayaka was poisoned, so why is she standing? We see what happened earlier when Suhyok offered to help and Ayaka would not believe him. He pulled the knife and said there was no other way, but he actually cut his own hand. Ayaka asked what the hell he was doing. He says the enemy of my enemy is my ally. He figures she is furious about being betrayed after trying so hard, and now she is about to lose her friend too. That is why he is offering his blood. In this world, nobody is more dangerous than someone with nothing left to lose. Somewhere else, someone runs and bursts into the church, warning the bishop they have a serious situation. A bunch of vampires are invading the hotel. Back to the scene, Suhyok moves toward the big snakes. Ayaka told him that woman can transform her body and command other snakes. If you get bitten by any of them or inhale her poison, you get paralyzed. Then you get controlled and turned into part of some messed up game. He cannot lose focus just because he lost that stupid knife. Someone throws him a sword and tells him she uses blood power to create the snakes, so eventually she will run out. It turns into a battle of endurance. For now, Ayaka will fight the snakes. In the meantime, he should help Coco. While Ayaka holds the line, he goes to Coco and says for now they are temporary allies. When he detoxes her blood, she has to help him and Ayaka instead of trying to kill him. Of course, she wakes up and punches him in the chin and jumps back. Calm down, that is violent. He is confused because she is not being controlled, and Coco looks to the side, saying she captured him. Ayaka says right now they need to kill Katarina. Coco does not get it and looks at Suhyok. Suddenly, the Titan mode comes out again and he charges the vampire. Katarina's plan to use those two to find Suhyok was perfect. She just did not expect him to break the poison and detox the other girls too, like she thought this boy needs to belong to her. Suhyok is cutting through snakes and notices they are slowly getting closer. Then the snakes open their mouths and blast green smoke everywhere. He warns the girls to protect themselves, but it is smoke, there is not much you can do. Ayaka tells them to watch out for poisoning while Suhyok is sure Katarina is trying to kill at least one of them. He knows she wants him alive for a different kind of death, so the other two are the real targets. Ayaka is fast enough and Coco is holding her breath, which makes her the easiest target. Right then, Katarina goes into attack, saying Coco has been rubbing up on her man and now she's going to die. A snake rushes in and Ayaka steps in front to get devoured. Coco screams for Ayaka, while the protagonist shows up and cuts in right away, yanking her away from him. He tells Ayaka to hurry because they are running out of time and he is going to give a bit of blood. She says she does not need it and he turns around telling her to stop stalling, and that is when it shows. Every guy's dream was to be that little snake. No, not that. What it shows is that inside the mouth of that little snake that everyone wanted to be, there was a silver dagger stabbed in. Ayaka's backstory is with her mom saying she is sorry, but from now on she is going to listen to this man. And just from her face, you can tell she is not right in the head. She's like Smeagol the Precious to her as those Mentos packs. So Ayaka gets introduced to a new friend known as Red. They tell her she better get used to him, so she takes the injection and starts agonizing blood everywhere. She goes through meds and daily experiments, and everyone in that place starts getting weirder and weirder, and one by one they die. It gets so terrifying that she thinks it would be better if she just became one of the ones who die already, or she froze there and disappeared for good. That is when she meets Coco, 16 years old, and she is shocked that Coco can actually smile. Of course she can, this girl is not right in the head, her brain is like half there at best. But for Ayaka, it makes things a little more fun. Sadly, the fun never lasts long because she goes right back to the experiments and the suffering. But when she comes back to their rat hole, at least she has someone close, and they depend on each other. But even that little bit of happiness does not last. The doctor orders them to separate people based on pity. Control group on the left and experimental group on the right. So Coco gets taken away and Ayaka throws her a shirt, and Coco keeps it all happy. Then what happened in that prison because this girl grew up? What happened is she got moved to another group and she runs into Coco again. Obviously she is excited like you are alive, I never thought I would see you again. But Coco is gone in the head and does not even remember who Ayaka is, so Ayaka has to introduce herself again and save her. The same person Coco saved in the past, and together they survive that hell. So they become this imperfectly perfect duo. Ayaka is smart and weak, yeah, I disagree. Coco is insanely strong but mentally challenged. The demon vampires say they are no different from useless humans, so why keep them alive? They should be killed. And that is how another hell starts. Ayaka wants to die, but she goes through this brutal training that takes hours every day, and I am not talking about training, just so the image stays on screen. She really trained. She knows if she does not meet their expectations, she will be thrown away. but all she wants is to live close to Coco, and for that she is willing to take any humiliation. Back to the present, the protagonist shares his blood and says he knows what it feels like to be abandoned after giving everything you have. Her vision is blurry and she thinks Soo-hyuk is the first person who understood her. She never thought that would happen because of an enemy. To survive, she got her hands dirty with blood countless times. I would say her mouth too, but in the end, it did not do much. She says, though, that if it was Soo-hyuk, maybe. Then she takes off her mask, calls him, and says something we do not get to hear. Some secret, and when he is surprised, she gives him a little kiss, but she is so dried out, I do not even know. The vibe is not there. She thanks him and boom, she drops dead. She thanks Coco for everything they went through and starts disappearing. Ayaka is dead and Coco is there crying, screaming, freaking out. Yeah, one died, but the protagonist has no choice. Now he is going to have to be captured by Catherine for 24 hours since she is there smiling, saying it is funny that Coco fought her whole life to save her friend, but in the end, died because of her. Now they must have realized how pointless it is to resist. Come on, I swear you will be well taken care of, Soo-hyuk. Will he, though I do not know if I believe that. Or do I? The protagonist says he knows what he needs to do, remembering what Ayaka told him. I am sitting here confused, like wait, I am talking to myself, you crazy guy. But then Coco is pounding the floor, screaming, telling them to bring Ayaka back. She charges at Catherine, who is still smiling calmly. Suddenly there is this flash of golden light and Coco barely gets out. Everyone is shocked, and from the glow you can already guess who showed up. The Vatican crew? The protagonist thinks they finally arrived along with her shining bright mirror. He even says, why do you have to shine that much? He's about to say that girl is not the enemy, but a bullet almost hits him in the forehead. Seriously, they are aiming at him too. Someone says this place is full of vampires, but he does not need to worry. And here comes another holy girl supposedly. She is blushing and winking with that cross eye, saying she came to purify everyone. A divine power attack and an eye with a cross. Catherine has zero doubt what kind of person she is. The tan blonde says they are pretty brave attacking a hotel run by the Vatican. But Catherine, who could just capture Soo-hyuk right away, says she is the crazy one for bringing so many puppets. The protagonist tells everyone to hold their breath, warning that if they inhale it, they will become her slaves. At the same time, a huge snake goes straight for the blonde, who is just smiling. The creature slams into a divine barrier. She raises her hand, saying she will handle it like this. A blast of light goes off and all that is left is the snake's head. Soo-hyuk is impressed. She handled it so easily. The girl with all that aura asks who is next. But in the middle of all that green smoke, the snake woman vanishes. The protagonist notices the only thing left is that damn snake head. Now the new blonde is confused, asking where the snake woman went. Soo-hyuk is not getting it while a guy tries to calm the bishop, saying they will find her soon. And Soo-hyuk remembers it was that same girl who gave the snake woman the chance to escape when she made that light explosion. The girl's expression changes, another one not right in the head. She is smiling, saying, now she gets it, thank you so much. Great, we need to follow her, so here's what we do. We kill these two. Right away, the protagonist pulls Coco aside, dodging bullets. He hides behind a pillar, trying to say he is not an enemy, he is an ally of Mirror. But the blonde guy says the Vatican does not negotiate with vampires, so saying he is Mirror's ally is basically a joke. Then the protagonist realizes his presence in that hotel was not even shared with everyone. How was he supposed to get out of this peacefully? She makes her eye glow and tells him to prove it. So he brings up room 1701, and she asks what he means by that. He says that is the room where he has been living with Mirror. Suddenly, she stops her power and freaks out. What is it, my warrior? What are you imagining? Man, that imagination is wild. The artist is going to suffer. The crazy girl is having a whole nosebleed meltdown, asking how long and if he has proof. And he says yeah, for a little while, and today, Mirror is wearing black panties. And right at that moment, she's getting to the building and she sees the cars parked at the entrance. She takes off running because those damn vampires took advantage of her being gone. Now it is screwed and everyone is dead. She comes in already reaching for her sword, trying to find out where Soo-hyuk is, and then the vampire shows up. The main guy is just standing there with Coco in his arms. It feels like it happened right after he said something to the blonde girl, who is still there looking totally empty inside. A little later, Mirror is gathering info about the Yakuza invasion, while the blonde girl is just standing there thinking it is really true and they are living together. They are in the back room and he says the leader managed to escape after they captured one of their people. Mirror says it was close and they really dodged a bullet. If he had fallen into Anna's hands, it would have been a disaster. Soo-hyuk says it looks like they knew she had left, so their intel network is advanced. This hotel was not safe at all. She agrees and they need to get out of there and they cannot be apart even for a second. She keeps staring at my boy like, what is this? And she just stands there doing nothing, then suddenly she smiles a little. She is thinking the guy who almost died the first time he fought vampires now almost beat 3 by himself and he is still standing strong. The training he went through really went beyond human strength and speed. He got really strong with what he eats every day. Even if it is slowing down, she is sure that if he keeps getting stronger like this, he will eventually be able to kill Anna. He looks at her and tells her to stop leaving her position carelessly. She backs off and says she had no choice because her superiors called her. He says he found something she needs to do and it is important. She tells him to say it already. He explains he knows the way to become as fast and as strong as Anna. The leader of the 7th Squad, Ayaka, gave him that info right before she died. The more blood a vampire consumes, the stronger they get. So training with her will not be enough, considering what Anna consumes. But it changes if it is vampire blood, because when you consume another vampire, you steal the power they built up. Mirror says they cannot just trust that info, and the conditions and requirements to get those abilities have not been tested. He says yes, but it is worth testing because he drank Ayaka's blood before she died. And the moment the bullets came close, they felt like they slowed down. For that second, he felt like he had a new ability. People say Anna has 7 vampires under her command, and now he knows what he has to do. He has to drink the blood of all of them. Mirror is like, okay, I get it, so that is why you brought this weirdo here crouching and walking like an animal. He says she is one of Anna's vampires, so it does not hurt to keep her with them. The poor thing is trapped inside a light box the blonde girl made, and she is just listening to everything. Also, it looks like she did not like Anna either since Anna killed her friend. Mirror is not excited and says they already have too much going on. The bishops are about to hold a council. He asks why and she explains it is a Vatican bishops' council to discuss the situation with Anna's forces. But the main topic is actually him, Soo-hyuk, because he is a vampire and he got brought into the vampire hunting group. Of course, some people are not happy, but he does not need to worry. Her position is not as bad as he said and she is always watching him, and now she thinks she can trust him a little more. Then she takes off the thing on her neck. She tells him to come get his reward. And yeah, we are talking about vampire blood. The blonde girl is right there trying to figure out what is going on. Soo-hyuk stands up and says she gives him that every day, so how is that a reward? The blonde girl is like, wait, every day. While he is already feeding, she says he has changed a lot since the beginning. Before he could barely control the urge and now he does it like it is just normal life. The blonde girl is obviously getting it all wrong. In her imagination, he is telling Mirror that if she cannot take it anymore, she should just say so, and he will go easy. So the blonde girl almost explodes again, wanting to know if Sister Mirror is really that far along. Mirror says you said the more the better, so should I call Lucia? He says it is better to ask her opinion first. The blonde girl is like, what do you mean they are going to call me too? And she is already imagining it. Mirror opens the door to call her, but the friend is already dead on the floor. A little later, she gets up and hugs Mirror like she missed her while staring at Soo-hyuk with pure hate. Then the thing leaves and Mirror says the problem now is dealing with this girl. Coco starts telling the girl to stop being annoying just because she is a bishop. They should make a place for her to rest and bring her blood so she can recover, and she will let them be her subordinates. So the main guy smacks her on the head. The friend asks if this thing is really going to be useful. He says like he mentioned he needs vampire blood. So she is not only good as a source for him to feed, but she also has a really good tracking ability. She can fight well too, so she will be useful. Mirror agrees but asks how they are going to control someone like that. Coco starts screaming and hides behind Soo-hyuk, which confuses Mirror. He says he does not know what she is hiding from, but watching her reminds him of when he got consumed by rage after his friends died. He killed the director and everyone involved in their deaths. So right now, she is probably feeling the same thing. He calls Coco and tells her his goal is to kill Anna. It would be good to have her help, but she is not 100% necessary. She can choose to die right there as a vampire or join them and go for revenge. She says she always hated Anna because she made things extremely hard for Ayaka, but she hates the Vatican even more. Then she decides she cannot forgive the ones who killed her. If the goal is to kill Anna, she will do whatever they want. Soo-hyuk tells Mirror it is settled. She says fine, she will take both of them to the bishop's meeting and they are her responsibility. But if they lose control and hurt anyone, they will be dealt with immediately. Then she pauses, like she should not have said that. A little later, Coco is screaming, saying the Vatican bastard lied. Then out of nowhere, the artist pulls this thing where every 35 minutes he has to draw someone wearing invisible clothes. And why do all the women around the main guy so far have short hair? What is going on? Mirror is furious, asking why she who got hired to kill vampires is giving this dog a bath. Then she remembers the main guy saying he needs blood. She tries to calm down and think positive. This is all unavoidable for the greater good. Then a drop of soap gets in her eye. While the main guy is calmly cleaning his little knife, the weirdo comes screaming in with the invisible clothes on. Thank God Mirror yanks her away like get out of here with this crazy girl and not under the head. Watching the two of them, Soo-hyuk remembers when he got promoted to team leader. His friends and brothers were telling him to take care of everyone and now he has to buy dinner for the whole group. The commander comes in too and he says he will pay for steak for everyone. He smiles and says it has been a long time since he had a loud day with people going back and forth. Night falls and Mirror is in bed still mad. That damn Coco does not listen to her, but she always listens to Soo-hyuk. He told her to change from the invisible cloth to normal clothes, and now Mirror is wondering if it is because she stepped on a yaka before. That cross shines so much it even reflects like some precious metal. Mirror thinks since Coco got thrown into enemy territory, it is almost expected she is acting weird. She's going to try to understand it better. Then she hears a bite and looks down and the girl is eating her hand, saying she is hungry and she needs to feed. Mirror smiles while pulling her sword. Soo-hyuk is in his room about to sleep when he hears screaming from the other side. He thinks about helping but decides not to. Go on, Mirror, work hard while he sleeps. He falls into a deep sleep and something comes closer. Here comes the little weirdo again. She's kind of crazy, and she's already talking like he belongs to her now. He thinks he really should have been captured by Catherine for 24 hours instead. Next morning, he feels something in the blanket, and when he opens it, she is there sleeping peacefully, like nothing happened. He tells her to be careful because sunlight is already hitting the room, so she should get out and wake up. But when he tries to move her, she hits him in the stomach, then gets close and starts smelling him. Then he finally gets why she obeys him. Since he drank Ayaka's blood, he probably smells like her. And since she has no other companion left, he is probably the only one she has now. So he tells her it is okay, like the commander told him in the past. Next scene, they are in another part of the building with the main guy doing his daily practice. Mirror throws a punch and he slips under it and lands one right in the middle of her mouth. She almost blocks it and says his reactions really are faster. He says it is thanks to Ayaka's blood. She says good because she can use that to her advantage. He asks what she means and she says the big day is here, the bishop's conference. Up to now, his existence was unofficial, but today they decide if he will really be admitted. He asks what happens and she says if he is not accepted, he gets executed on the spot. But he does not need to worry because she believes in his potential. Not only is he the secret weapon to lure vampires who need to hide, but he is also growing fast enough to fight Anna's captains. She asks if he is insecure, and he says he was not afraid of humans even when he was human, so imagine now that he is stronger as a vampire. For him, killing Anna is just a matter of time. They They have a lot to settle, so they should get this conference over with. She says excellent, and the door opens and the group heads out. Soo-hyuk knows that just like they see Anna as a demon, he is seen the same way. The only difference is whether he will be used by the Vatican or he will use them. In the end, all he wants is his revenge. He already took down 2 of the 7 leaders, and now there are 5 left. The scene switches to Catherine saying that is what she thinks while chatting with Anna. Anna asks what the result was, and Catherine says Ayaka is confirmed dead and Coco is at the Vatican. Anna says she does not care about them, she wants to know about Soo-hyuk. Catherine says exactly like planned, he is growing a lot and he even managed to neutralize the poison she turned him with. She smiles and says eventually he will come to them perfect without them needing to interfere. For now they just need to focus on that. So yeah, the main guy is being used. He's going to show up feeling confident and then get wrecked for sure. Now they are at the cathedral, and he says it is the same place they saw before. Mirror explains the top is the visible part, then below that is the sanctuary, and even lower is the Vatican. Looks like they are saving money on land building downward like a mole. He is mad and says he gets that she wants to be safe, but did he really need to be chained up? Probably holy steel chains because in theory that should not work on him. Mirror tells him to relax because at least he has it better than Coco. Then someone comes up behind them calling both of them and asking if that is her vampire. Mirror gets all cheerful like, hey Dominic, it has been a while. He asks if she is okay and if that is Soo-hyuk, the guy who used to be an agent and now wants to be part of the Vatican. He says it is really something how this kid wants to join them. He acts tough, but he is actually nice. He says he will be a big boost to their combat power, and she says yes, during the mission he helped a lot. Then the guy says sure he will help with the mission to deal with weak people, because what he really wants is to burn all vampires. He almost says something else but stops and raises his hand apologizing. He leaves saying it was nice meeting them and he will see them at the meeting. He calls for Hild, who is standing there smiling like an airhead. She greets Mirror and says she will see her later too, then she looks at Soo-hyuk kind of confused and gives him a quick hi while hurrying along. Mirror explains that it is good for him to get used to it because for everyone in the Vatican, he is going to feel like a poke in the eye. There are people like Dominic everywhere. Some can be more aggressive, and right then, someone comes rushing in. When Mirror looks back, it is Lucia, and here comes her imagination for sure. She is about to picture one of those scenes. Come on, sharpen the pencil, artist, my god, but it is a whole struggle in there, a tight squeeze with Mirror saying they have been seeing each other way too much. Lucia looks to the side, sees the protagonist, and turns to ask if she has seen someone named Cecilia. She tells Mirror to be really careful with her because that is the woman who hates vampires more than anyone. No matter how much Soo-hyuk wants to help the Vatican, she will oppose it, and here comes Moscow Mommy. Mirror thanks her for the warning but says there is no reason to worry. She just has a different opinion and she is very qualified as a bishop, still Su-hai, and her sentence gets cut off by a bird or whatever, a blue arrow flying straight at the protagonist. Mirror pulls her sword and reflects it back. Lucia runs while Mirror asks who the hell did that. Then Moscow Mommy shows up, Cecilia, saying she is doing her duty as a bishop. Mirror asks what she thinks she is doing. Cecilia says she is not the kind of person who should be protecting a vampire. She ties her hair up and says that is enough, everyone move, she is ending this now. Lucia tries to calm things down, saying they are there on the Cardinal's request, but Cecilia says she is there to do her job too. Mirror just smiles and says this is going to be interesting. What happens if she does not move? Cecilia jumps in, saying she warned them. Lucia starts preparing a buff, but Mirror says it is fine, she will answer in kind. A golden laser comes out, big swords both staring each other down, cross eyes on both sides, and what happens next? Explosion, obviously. Lucia throws up a barrier and asks if Mirror is okay, and then someone else arrives, the redhead, this time asking what this mess is. Looks like both of them freeze and the protagonist is stunned. Who is this woman? Lucia and the 3 of them drop to their knees, welcoming Her Majesty Cardinal. Helena, and honestly, does she not give off Anna vibes? I am calling the twist. What if she is Anna? I do not know. I feel like I am predicting too hard. Cecilia is already apologizing. Helena says it is fine. She can tell the reason just by looking at him. Now come on, let us go to the meeting. Cecilia warns Mirror that today there will be an execution and this guy will die by her hands. The protagonist does not care, he just stares and calls Mirror over. They are making all this drama, but we know he is not dying, so move it along. Tell me what the chaos of the day is. I thought it would be a meeting with like 500 people. There are 6. The Vatican is broke. Helena greets everyone and Cecilia immediately interrupts, saying she wants to know why that disgusting vampire is in a holy place. Mirror notices she goes straight to the point, which is good because it cuts the drama. Helena says it is fine and goes straight to it. She wants to hear everyone's opinion. Cecilia slams the table, saying a vampire in the Vatican is completely unacceptable. Dominic says you cannot trust them, they are driven by rage. Hildy is on the fence, saying she does not really have an opinion. They ask about Lucia and what she thinks about the boy. She says the first time she saw him was during the hotel attack. Soo-hyuk risked his life to defend the base. He also tried to help the allies, but since they had no info on him, they attacked him and he managed to hide. Even though he could have retaliated, he chose not to hit anyone. Dominic looks surprised, and Lucia says it is clear Soo-hyuk can control his abilities because he does things an out-of-control vampire would not do. Then someone is basically drooling a bucket of blood, saying they can continue, while Mirror does not understand anything but says she believes Soo-hyuk. Everyone asks why they need him in the Vatican, and she says she saw a revelation. Cecilia laughs and tells her to stop making things up to protect him. She is disappointed. Revelations are meant to show the birth of the chosen or dangers that are coming, and clearly he is a danger that needs to be destroyed, someone who mercilessly killed even his team's former allies. The protagonist tries to defend himself, saying those guys killed his team, but she tells him to shut up, saying nobody gave him the right to speak. Cecilia is begging to get bitten. Meanwhile, Coco is about to do something stupid. I knew it. She shows up for 1 second, smells blood, her eyes go red, and she says she wants to kill someone. Mirror says she knows Suhyok was actually betrayed and he was defending himself. Cecilia keeps insulting him, saying it does not matter, he is a vampire. The ancestor's message says they must be exterminated. Mirror answers yes, but to exterminate vampires they need Suhyok to take down an Anna, who here can do it without him. The Vatican was established 2,000 years ago, and thanks to the dedication and sacrifice of countless people, Anna is the last remaining ancient vampire. She is extremely sneaky, she hides in the shadows, and she has been expanding her power recently. But now her hideouts are finally starting to surface because of her interest in Suhyok. Because of that, her 7th squad got wiped out and the 6th joined up. Everything that was stuck for years started moving because of him. The buff one puts a hand on her face, saying Mirror is talking nonsense. What is this about the 6th joining them? They must be crazy. She tells Helena to remove Mirror from her position and execute both vampires. Helena says she is overreacting. They have to consider it because, thanks to this man, Anna has started showing weakness. Helena is thinking about forming an experimental unit, but they need at least half the people present to decide. Anyone who supports it will be responsible for the outcome. Mirror says she understands. Cecilia says she can admit Suhyok might be useful, but the other subordinate vampire is completely unacceptable. Helena says she heard the girl is hard to control, so they need to meet her to judge. They will have her brought in, and then someone opens the door saying they have a problem. Helena asks what, and he says the 6th vampire known as Coco escaped the cage. Everyone panics. Now it is bad. Cecilia asks if Mirror will take responsibility. Dominic says if she leaves the basement and goes to the church where the kids are sleeping ready to be eaten, they are done. Then the sleepy one wakes up like, I am so tired, let me go, and she runs into the villain. Hilda goes out to wait and asks who went where. She has some special power because the atmosphere around her suddenly changes and the protagonist asks what is happening. Dominic is shocked, telling her to calm down and control her emotions. But look up, it is too late, it is about to come out. The protagonist warns Mirror and suddenly, a giant sword comes out of a portal. Mirror almost gets taken out and Helena has to step in and reflect the attack. Mirror thanks the cardinal. Helena orders Lucia to go to the orphanage and Dominic to help take care of Hild. She warns that if that vampire causes any trouble, everyone who brought her will be held responsible. Cecilia is thinking she knew this would happen. She rushes off, knowing that girl used to be one of Nanayama's leaders. If she reaches the orphanage, it is over. She sees Lucia standing at the end of the hallway and no way. For a second, it looks like she already killed them, but that is just what Cecilia imagines. She stops and looks into the room. Oh my god, did we need that? No. You could have made a cute scene, but you went with this. This is where you draw something sweet like a family moment. The kids say they are lined up to ride the little horse, while Cecilia wonders if that is the squad leader. Mirror walks in calling for Coco. Coco is happy, then she sees a bleeding arm and jumps to bite. Mirror has to stop her while Coco says she just wants a little sip. Cecilia snaps and says she will eliminate her right now. Then Coco says she is only going to drink Mirror because Suhyok and them agreed she could drink her blood. Cecilia realizes the girl was actually under control. Cecilia's power-loaded hand gets grabbed by Dominic, who tells her to be careful using that in front of the kids. Hilda walks in, everyone greets her and she talks all sweet, then looks over and sees Mirror scolding Coco. The kids say they played horsey and went down the slide. Hilda gets emotional and hugs. Hilda apologizing and Mirror says it is fine. Coco still gets chewed out for acting up and escaping. Back at the meeting, it is confirmed both vampires are controlled. Most bishops agree, so the operation will go ahead. Helena asks if anyone disagrees and now Cecilia says no. Helena says okay then. The shackles come off and Mirror becomes the squad leader. Dominic and Hildy leave. While Cecilia says Mirror is too injured, she did not need to push herself. She could have just sent a message and asked for help. The vampires keep an eye out and then from the back, Cecilia calls Mirror and says she knows the real mission of their crusade is saving people from vampires. So Mirror better know that the second those trash violate that mission, they will be wiped out. She says it puts her hand in her pocket and walks off acting like she is the boss. She was going to come for them anyway. Scene switches to a bar with a bunch of old guys. A man sits down, pours whiskey, and tells Ivan it has been a while since they talked. The guy with the hat says it took so long he is even disappointed. Looks like he forgot who he is talking to. The person who took his eye. He says Ivan will never forget the day he lost his old boss and the eye he lost. Then everyone pulls like 30 Glocks. It is the protagonist. The guy calls Suhyok, who is under his hood, and asks why he is in Russia. Dominic explains that the Yakuza gang that attacked the hotel were actually all human. The only reason they look like vampires is because they were under some kind of drug. Also, a Vatican unit a month ago was completely destroyed by the mafia and the bodies they found were under the effect too. They linked it to Nanayama. Scene switches to another hotel, identical to the earlier one, but this is the branch in Russia. Mirror and Coco are in the room and the protagonist walks in. Mirror says he looks pretty clean for someone who went into a risky area. He says he got the location of the Yakuza hideout. He already planned the operation, so they need to listen. Mirror thinks it is weird because he got info from the guy whose eye he ripped out. He says he went there to negotiate, so he got it. Nanayama and Ivan were hostile forces, so he explains how the operation will work. He lays it all out and Mirror says, okay, it sounds like a good plan, so what does she have to do? Next scene, Mirror has to wear an outfit that gives her a plus 20 buff. She is disguised with contacts and a wig. The protagonist says it is essential the squad is disguised. Does she want to carry a sword while dressed like a priestess inside a club? With her injuries, this is the best option. She says fine, she has contacts and a wig, but asks why she is so exposed. Yeah, that low angle is wild. The bouncer stops them. Hey girls, your friend's outfit is not appropriate. He complains about the flip-flops until Coco gets told to lower it. The bouncer looks at the cleavage and says, fine, go in. They enter the club and the protagonist says the operation has started. Mirror is in shock like a church girl. She never imagined this stuff happened here. These people are so corrupted. Then the first guy shows up, puts a hand on her shoulder and says, hey cutie, want to dance with me and my friend? He basically invites her to a room. She says okay, he pulls her, and she says do not touch me. Meanwhile, the protagonist thinks they will not need many troops. He moves forward calmly, sees nobody, then hits a dead end. Something is off, and right then someone appears behind him. He turns and sees a bunch of guys who must be on the drug, and at the end the hat guy Ivan is there. It was a trap. The guy says he has been waiting for this moment, Suyok. Catherine promised that if he delivered Suyok to her, he would become the boss of this place. So Suyok better obey because everyone's pistol has silver bullets. And about that, girlfriend, do not worry. The idiot drank poison wine, passed out, and the artist had to show off. The other sick one is dancing, and Ivan says it is over for him. But before handing him to Catherine, how about he messes up his face a little? Next chapter starts with the protagonist saying he received the location of Naniyama's business. They will get the info at a club that is supposedly hostile to her, or actually, that is what they want him to think. They will pretend they got fooled and go there to fall into the trap. Back to Ivan talking, and the protagonist takes off his glasses and thanks Ivan for sticking to the plan. The old man is confused. The protagonist says when he got the mission to eliminate Anna, he researched enough, and one thing he knows is they never collaborate with other forces. They only absorb. Which means he already knew from the start this whole area was under her control. Ivan realizes the bastard already knows his organization got absorbed by Anna, so why did he walk into the trap? But whatever, there's nothing Suyok can do. Tell them to turn this kid into a beehive and fill him with holes. The protagonist just walks straight into the bullets, and the guy is kinda confused. Any one of those shots should have dropped him instantly. But he keeps going straight, deflecting the bullets with his blade. He slips in under the first guy. And the dude is already in shock. Meanwhile, Coco, who was out there dancing, gets a message from the protagonist saying it is time to move. All she has to do is follow the smell of blood down the hallway. Suddenly, she drops the whole disguise and takes off running while Ivan is saying Suyok made a huge mistake. He should have thought about what they were planning to do after kidnapping him and handing him over to that woman. He was stupid for bringing his team, especially bringing women into enemy territory. No matter what he gets done here, his little girlfriend is already unconscious. The protagonist takes a shot right near his shoulder and says, did you forget who I am? You should be more worried about yourself because I am not worried about her. The guy starts talking like he is about to enjoy the best thing in the world, saying she is glamorous with that long hair like it was some kind of buff, and of course his arm gets grabbed. There is screaming in the hallway, and his friend looks over and immediately gets kicky. Right in the face. One guy blows up in the car, the others step out to see what is coming, and she throws a long leg kick. Like, calm down, you are doing too much. Save some angles. Because what is this? The poor guy sees something he will never forget. Then right after that, he gets booted into the car and crushed. Obviously, the protagonist warned her they were going to use some little trick to knock her out. Probably, that is when her body would get moved to the real place where things happen. When that happens, he and Coco head to where they took her, so they can reach the real base. Okay, top agent, your plan is actually respectable. I thought you were just some random kid. Mirror is like, wait, how are you so sure they will talk to me? The protagonist says he knows an outfit that guarantees it. She is furious, saying she is even more mad now that the plan worked. The only bad part is her arm is still injured, and he told her to wait for them before trying anything. And here she goes about to mess it up. She is thinking according to Suyok's plan I should wait. But let me take a quick look around first just to be sure what is going on. Because there might be people down there I need to save her. She smells blood and moves forward saying she is part of the Vatican. Looks like they use these clubs to kidnap people from parties and drain blood, I guess. Mirror goes to a small window, sees an operating room, and tries to understand what is happening. It looks like multiple cells, but at the same time, there is nobody there. On the floor, she finds one of those poison vials. She crouches and picks, trying to figure out what it is. The only word on it is blood. Right then, someone says, interesting, how did she get here? Well, Catherine, long time no see. All the women in this place should already be in coffins. Poor Mirror realizes instantly that the psycho came up behind her without making a sound. That is definitely one of Anna's leaders. Catherine orders her to answer, while Mirror is wondering why she had to run into a leader right now. I wonder why. The protagonist said, stay upstairs, wait for me to get there, but she had to go downstairs anyway. But she smiles and says, if God wants me to die right now, then until my last breath, I will fight for the Vatican. Then she pulls off the wig, introduces herself, and sadly loses a few points. Catherine recognizes her and immediately snaps, saying she is the one who stole Suyok from her. Mirror thinks if she dies, then he can figure it out himself, and she goes for it while Coco is sniffing the floor tracking. They finally find the real base, but Coco reaches an area where she says she is not sure anymore. Suyok asks if she cannot follow, and she says it is the opposite. Behind that door, there is an insane amount of her blood coming out. Protagonist notices her phone on the floor. She left a voice message saying, I am sorry Suyok for going against the plan. How can she be that dumb? He remembers she said saving people comes before her objectives as a Vatican girl. She just hoped he would finish the mission because as a teammate, she trusted him. He probably wants to punch her for this, but fine, open the door, but sudden. Coco grabs his back and he asks, what is it? She is shaking, saying it is the same smell as when they found that person back then. He kneels and asks if she means the leader and how many are in there. She says she does not know, at least 2. He realizes she is having a panic attack, shaking like crazy, but there is no time, so he opens the door and they are doing this now. Mirror is in danger and he does not want to lose her. The labs are all empty and it feels wrong. It does not look like anything happened there. Then he sees a bit of blood on the floor and he already assumes Mirror got dragged through there. There is no sign of a struggle, which is weird. He tells Coco they are about to find them. She just has to hold on a little longer, but she says no, it is better to keep going. All that blood on the floor is Mirror blood. The protagonist is sure she got taken. That is it now, run. Learn how to use both legs. You know, you could have been running since the start, but whenever he sees the door, the blood trail is there. He pulls his pistol, calls for Mirror, and when he opens it, he freezes. Inside these water tanks or whatever they are, there are a bunch of girls looking well fed, getting blood pumped into their veins. The protagonist knows it. They are running some kind of human experiment. Coco is shaking, saying they are injecting the same thing she and Ayaka hated. He gets it. They are kidnapping women to experiment and turn them into vampires. The drug being injected is the same one they have been looking for. If they rescue the people and investigate this place, they will find out what they really want. But first they need to move fast. Then someone says, looks like you are looking for her. Catherine shows up carrying Mirror. The protagonist aims and asks what she did to his friend. Catherine tells him to relax. She has not killed her yet. Looks like what she wants is the body. I do not even get it. He wants to save her, but the girls in the tanks are pounding and begging to be saved. Catherine says the location has been exposed, so another squad is coming. She did what she had to do, so she is leaving. The whole place turns red. She says it is a shame, but they will see each other next time. She is taking Mirror go after her. Do not let her get away. Now it is clear he has to choose save everyone in the room or save Mirror. He punches the glass while the place starts to blow up. He is rushing, telling them to hold on. While there are 19 seconds left, the timer is dropping, and there is an explosion outside the building. Later, he is there breathing hard while firefighters arrive. He apologizes to Mirror, remembering her and saying it was close. He almost could not save anyone. At least he brought this one back. But why? Why did you not save Mirror? He brought this weird girl just so he could show off. Actually, he only saved her because she was the only one who survived out of all the others. She is covered in blood, but she is regenerating in that vampire way. But of course, the girl who went through the experiments is shaken. She thanks him for saving her, but asks him to kill her. She says she was a nun who served God, but now her body is corrupted. If she has to live by drinking other people's blood, then she does not want to live. And he says, as a vampire, they can protect everyone from vampires. They do not need to create more victims. She says she understands, but grabs a piece of glass trying to take her own head off. Stop trying to cut your own head off for the love of God. He holds her back, saying he felt like that too. But a member of the order showed up and turned him into a member and gave him a reason to live. And then, when he had a chance to save her, he let her get taken. Why, I do not know, asked the writer. He tells her eventually she will find a reason to live, so she cannot give up now, drop the glass, and hug him. And the girl is wearing invisible clothes that suddenly want to stick to him. All he asks is that Mirror is safe. Then we see hours earlier, Catherine is saying they should kill that girl for real. She is useless and already captured, but they can also use her to lure Soo-hyuk. Suddenly, someone else appears. Catherine asks who she is. The white-haired girl just says obey because she has a plan. Because unlike Catherine, she actually has a brain. Catherine snaps back, telling her not to underestimate her. But the girl crushes the little snake with one hand and says she better obey. Catherine tries another snake attack, and the girl says she must be feeling herself because she drank a little blood. But she should know if it was not for Anna's orders, she would already be dead. Catherine manages to land a little bite on her foot. She is confident, but when a new one shows up like this, you already know she is about to get wrecked. So yeah, if a new one arrived, that means Catherine is eventually going to die. But she could kidnap the protagonist for 24 hours real quick just to, tell me what you want to do with him. Catherine thinks she's going to win, but the girl appears behind her, saying her shoulders are going to be decoration. Next thing you know, blood is everywhere, and I do not even understand what happened. And that is the third squad leader named Lily. I think she just stabbed her with her arm, and Catherine realizes this one is on another level. A black-eyed vampire, meaning she reached that other stage. Catherine is furious because Soo-hyuk was promised to her, but she does not have many options now that this woman is here. She just wants to know, what are you planning to do with that girl? Lily says, to solve a plague, you cannot attack only what is right in front of you. Then the scene cuts to the protagonist's house talking to the new vampire when a guy under the effect of some poison comes up from the side pulling out a big gun. He calls for Kim Soo-hyuk and says it is a message from Catherine. I thought he was going to shoot, but he just throws a paper on the floor and says he is going to that address tonight, and if he does not go alone, the woman there is going to die. Yeah, it is a human being controlled, and the woman who is going to die is Mirror, and then the guy kills himself. The protagonist realizes they are screwed. They know his location, and now they are acting like he has no choice except to follow orders. Coco says that guy who was drugged had Mirror smell on him. Protagonist is sure she got moved somewhere else. He asks if Coco can track her, and she says, yes, she can follow the scent. He says the plan is simple. He will deal with Catherine, while Coco rescues Mirror. Coco is furious, saying no way she is going to kill Catherine, the woman who killed Ayaka. He says he knows she wants revenge, but without Mirror, the Vatican group will start hunting them. And he says just like Ayaka is precious to Coco, Mirror is precious to him. Sure it is because he let her get taken. Coco says she gets it and runs off, saying later she will kill Catherine. The protagonist tells the others to keep an eye on this girl, and Mirror will decide later what they do with her. He turns and tells her to stay there, and she says okay. While he keeps remembering Mirror all tied up, he says he is going to make sure that woman does not leave alive tonight. They are at the church, and the tough guy kicks the door open. Catherine smiles, saying he is really late. Late for their wedding, she is dressed up, and the place is packed. She asks why her husband took so long. He is not here for jokes. He pulls the pistol and starts handing out headshots. The poor guys were sitting there for 3 hours waiting for him, just for him to walk in and blow everyone's heads off. One guy comes in with a knife, he ducks and shoves it into his mouth. He looks to the side and another guy fires 2 shots, but he ducks and shoves the guy forward into the bench. Then he hits him from below. Another body drops, he grabs it and uses it as cover to tank the bullets while he finishes the rest. Then he runs out of ammo, and there is one guy lined up. He rushes and ducks. Another shot punches under the gun to lift the aim and then dumps a burst into him. Then he pulls the same knife he used on one guy and throws it into the other guy's face. He does not stop. He points the pistol at Catherine and tells her to say where Mirror is. She says he is such an intense boy and grabs the gun and tells him to calm down because she did not call him here for a fight. She says the only way he saves Coco is if he spends the wedding night with her, basically. Then we get Catherine flashback. When she was human, she only cared about Fortnite. She loved it. The 90-degree builds the pack servers. To keep playing forever, she needed immortality. That is when she found herself surrounded by corpses with Anna in front of her, offering what she wanted, so she agreed to become a vampire. But then her matches got way more intense, and she started ripping out enemy hearts. She is completely unhinged. The problem is, when she came back to reality, she realized she had killed another person. She was too strong for the server, basically. That was not what she wanted. She did not want to just farm noobs. She realized she would need another vampire, but the experiments were not working. Until one day, someone knocked on the door and said they finally found a male vampire. She had already started wondering, like, who even is this Suyeok, and what kind of guy is he? Then she looks at the collection of heads she farmed on the server, and she is sure at least this one can handle a 1v1. And it only gets worse for her. When in the middle of the fight, she sees the guy looking like a total Chad, all shiny and confident. That is when her eternal life, which is insanely boring, finally starts to feel like it has meaning. She's there, she farmed a Desert Eagle, and she is aiming at the main character, saying if it is about headshots, she does not miss. But he just goes, nah, I refuse. She is way too old for him. 100-year gap is too much. So she destroys his deagle and calls him a bastard. She says she was giving him the chance to be her husband. Poison everywhere, and she is like, fine then. Now he is going to be her toy. Cut to the group deciding who is going to defend the hallways. They thought they were about to run into the Vatican guys, but they run into Coco instead. They try to talk to her, but she does not speak English. One of them even thinks she looks kind of dumb. Then she catches the smell of Mirror's blood. Right away, she knows she is close behind there. The guys pull their pistols, but yeah, vampire versus them, they get wiped. Some other poor guys try to aim, but she just rushes in. She jumps to the wall, then the ceiling, then the other wall. She comes in from the side of someone's head and finishes another one. Inside, the doctor is saying that was an important sample. Then she opens the door and everyone freezes. Coco sees Mirror stretched out on the gurney. The doctors tell her to get out, but they are all speaking Russian and she does not listen. She clocks one of them right in the head and sends him fly. After that, nobody tries to stop her while she takes Mirror. One look from her and they all stay quiet. The door slams and she is already outside, saying she has to reach Suhyak fast. She remembers he said Mirror is important to him. But in the end, she is the one who is going to kill Catherine. Back to the main character's fight. He is spraying the little snakes. Just like last time, that Catherine is trying to stall until he gets tired. And the way things are going, that plan is going to work. He keeps firing while Catherine smiles, saying Suyeok looks desperate. But she says it makes sense. The fog keeps getting thicker and the snakes keep closing in. His body and mind are at the limit. And when someone is like that, she thinks it is the perfect time to hunt. So she is right behind him. She sends another wave of snakes, saying now he is not leaving alive. But he looks at her and says she fell for the trap. He rushes in, slicing all the snakes. She is shocked and a cut lands on her face. Not just a small scratch. She is confused because his mental state should be wrecked dealing with all this. But now he is right up close, saying the end is here. She spits a blast of poison out of her nasty mouth. He slashes, but it is enough for her to back off. Now she is furious because he was playing with her. All those random shots and him breathing in the smoke. It was all on purpose to make it look like he was falling into her trap. Looks like that hotel fight was enough for him to learn her style. He tells her he should give up because there is nowhere to run. She is raging, calling him a bastard because he left a scar on her face. And even worse, it does not look like it is healing. She is done showing mercy. Then the snakes that were attacking him start moving toward her. Actually, they start collecting blood from all the bodies on the floor and then they flow into her. Disgusting. He tries to attack before she absorbs it all, but too late. He gets bitten on the arm. She is so fast he cannot even react now. She says that is it. She is going to rip off all 4 of his limbs and leave just enough so he can be tortured. His arm gets locked up. Bite to the neck. Then she wraps him up a bit. She says it is way too early for him to suffer because they have not even started. Then she rips his arm off. He realizes he cannot move. He thinks she's going to take his leg too, but she just starts smashing him from side to side. He is getting slammed into the wall, wondering how he is supposed to avenge his allies like this. He will not even be able to reach Anna. He cannot stop here. But then Catherine comes in to hit him with a candelabra and it looks like it goes right into his mouth. Yeah, it did, because he spits blood. He feels this weird thing like everything is too quiet. He cannot hear anything. Maybe he really is not strong enough. He starts apologizing to Coco and Mirror, thinking he is going to die. Catherine says he should have listened when she was being nice. Why did he have to mess with her? But he can relax because he is not going to die. What she is mad about is that the scar is not healing, and the sun is going to rise soon. It is time for her to go back and enjoy her meal. Hearing him make those suffering sounds, she wonders how he is still conscious. But that is exactly how she wants him, aware enough to satisfy her. Then he starts convulsing and his eye turns red. She wonders how he has eyes like that. The arm that got ripped off regenerates, and she realizes his recovery is faster than hers now. The thing stuck in his chest drops to the floor. She is sure he looks stronger than she is. His whole chest closes up. In a second, he is already ripping her arm off. She freaks out. Before she can even turn, he is already back and drives a hit into her ribs. Then he throws her away like trash. She tells herself it is impossible for someone to get that strong that fast. He keeps walking up while she says he is just lucky. If she had gotten a skill that good, she would have awakened a long time ago. He does not care about her speech. He keeps going, beating the snakes apart with his fists. She cannot understand why none of her techniques work. He goes in for another combo. She tries that poison breath again. At the same time, she is trying to wrap around and escape, but he grabs her arm and slams her into the ground. You are not leaving. Final boss face to face, she realizes he is too strong and she cannot win. He goes for the finisher, but she pulls one of the snakes and uses that mud thing, and it pierces his head. She say, it does not matter how strong he is, that is fatal damage for anyone. But he just stares at her full of hate and punches straight through her chest. She can only think he turned into an unbeatable monster. Then we get Catherine's flashback. In theory, she is another one with no ability. These vampire girls do nothing but complain. Ayaka was the same. Catherine got mad when Lily showed up with that black eye. Catherine confronted her about being the third leader now. Lily had barely awakened, so how did she already have that eye? Lily tried to explain, but Catherine lost it and punched her in the mouth, telling her to stop acting big. But Lily blocked it and said from today on she is not the third leader anymore. She swept her legs, took her down, and beat her. Well, almost. She punched the side of her head and said weak people like her do not deserve to live. That day, Catherine learned it does not matter what the situation is, the strong always win. Now back in the present, she hates the main character because he is putting her in that same spot. She tells him to stop staring at her with those eyes. She summons like 5 or 6 snakes. Then she throws him across the room saying she has not used this in a long time because it makes her ugly, but enough. From now on, he is going to see her true form. She turns into a huge snake for real. He grits his teeth and charges again. She starts forming a poisonous sphere and says that is it. This is the end. She throws acidic poison and he tries to block. She says even if he regenerates fast enough, it will melt him. Even if his body keeps regenerating, the poison will turn his whole existence into gas until the last cell stops existing and he dies in pure agony. And yeah, it looks like that is exactly what is happening. He is screaming in panic. She watches and only his little skeletal hand is left. She says now they are finally equal. Even with those blessed abilities, it was stupid to think he could beat her. Pathetic in the end. She starts to leave. Then she sees the puddle that used to be him starting to regenerate. In the middle of all that poison, she steps closer to see what is going on. But he comes out of the fog and hits her again. She says it makes no sense. How can someone regenerate faster than they melt? Too late, because you are about to find out. Cut to Coco driving with Mirror in the car. Coco is yelling, saying she is going to kill Catherine. Mirror has a headache, asking how long she was out. They do not remember anything since the moment that woman showed up behind them. If what Coco said is true, then Soo-hyuk is in danger right now. They reach the church. Coco jumps out, runs to the door, opens it, and runs into the poison fog. She knows that is the 5th squad leader's ability, but neither of them can get close. Right then, the main character's punch is flying toward Catherine's acid bomb. Mirror looks at him and recognizes he looks like he did back then. Coco calls out Soo-hyuk. Catherine turns around asking where those two came from. Lily was supposed to be watching them. Now it's too late because he charges Catherine again. She let her guard down and takes a hit right in the face. She calls him a cockroach that will not die. She whips the snakes, each one with its own acid, and fires a barrage. Mirror screams for him. Catherine tells her to shut up and says the priestess is next. She wonders how those two got past Lily. But fine, she will kill this kid and find out. She starts building power. He comes again. It is time for her to use the maximum concentration poison and throw him into nothing. Another attack goes out. He really does love getting hit. He tanks it and regenerates, but come on, dodge something like that. Not sure if it hit, but it looks like he vanished. She knows that is not Soo-hyuk's ability. The one with that power is Lily. Up above, she says hi. Catherine puts it together. Just like she got permission that day to kill Ayaka and Coco, Lily should have gotten the same order now. As someone weak, she lost the right to live. Then Lily fires a shot. At that moment, the main character appears at Catherine's side and bites her neck. She looks over, like no way she cannot lose everything like this. She tries to throw snakes at his face, but he is not even thinking he is just going for blood. She starts remembering Fortnite matches. All she wanted was to crank 90 seconds and get the gold scar. If she knew this pro-vampire life was this hard, she would never have taken that blood. She does not want to die, she is not ready. Then her body hits the floor. Mirror is shocked again that he managed to kill another squad leader by himself. The problem is, if Soo-hyuk is in that out-of-control state, he could hurt someone else. She does not know what to do. Then Coco jumps at him, tackles him to the ground, and starts hitting him. She says he did not keep his promise. They do that dramatic moment like he is about to punch back. Mirror yells, do not do it. But he is actually in control. He just says he is happy they are both safe. Still, where is Lily in all this? Everyone is celebrating and I am confused. Then yeah, right, I remember. Anna's plan is actually to make him stronger. That is the real plan. He passes out. Later, he wakes up in the hospital asking what happened. Where is Catherine and what is the outcome? Mirror says Catherine is being transported for an autopsy. They rarely get a squad leader, so Cecilia and the others are making a big deal out of it. He says he gets it. Then suddenly, he gets a ball of blood thrown in his face. She tells him to drink it and she is excited. On his first solo mission, he took down a squad leader and saved someone. That is a really good result, but he says it was not his first time. He has run into the vampires before and lost. Even his teammates died. In the end, he did take down this leader. But once again, he feels like he lost to the vampires. He barely made it out. Mirror says, no, he has changed a lot. Ayaka was right. She saw him staying conscious even in berserker mode. And why is she wearing that outfit? It is so hot in this hospital room. She says even in berserker mode, he showed insane power. And he still looked controlled and aware. Plus, he drank Catherine's blood, so he is definitely going to get even stronger. It is her theory, but she is starting to think you can see his growth through his eyes. Because his gaze looks really different now. And from what they know, his next goal is to get the red eye with the black background. The famous reverse eye. Coco says she has seen that eye once on another squad leader. He asks if she knows what it means. She says she has no idea, she just saw it once. At least now he knows if even Coco, who used to be a leader, does not know about it, then it has to be rare. So Mirror's theory is probably not bad. He smiles and says she is not a bishop for nothing. He thanks her for getting those useless thoughts out of his head, and he thanks her too for following and trusting the plan. But honestly, that is the one thing she did not do. And of course, he says in the end, she still had to mess everything up by going solo. She stands up angry, asking if he wanted her to abandon all the hostages. Yeah, that would have been better since they only saved one. But whatever he says in the end, he just needs to get stronger. And he already knows the method. Cut to outside the room. Lucia heard everything that happened, and that Mirror almost died because of Suhyok's plan. He gets furious that Suhyok put her in danger like that. So then we see her there, and I do not even know if she is standing in front of his door, but inside it looks like he talked to Coco, and she wants her blood. Then Lucia shows up listening to what she should not be listening to. He is in there saying he is going to be gentle since it is her first time. Lucia imagines it and the guy attacked, and she is in shock thinking the kid does not even go easy on vampires. While poor Sister Mirror was in the hospital, he already moved on to the next victim. He is there biting and drinking the blood while Coco says the feeling is weird. How long is this going to last? Then he goes like, hey, stop imagining all that because I like money and I am about to lose monetization. Lucia is standing there stunned because after Mirror tried so hard for him, he just leaves her like that. Then she punches the door saying he is the worst and she runs off apologizing. A month later, we are at the hotel and back in Korea. Mirror comes at him telling him to wake up and get it together because he got lucky with Catherine and then cut to the next scene. To face the next enemies, he finally had to learn to control his abilities, and he is using a holy sword. And come on, she ripped my boy's arm off. Is she going to turn it into a pillow? Then she stabs him in the chest too. She says based on what she studied, the reverse eye shows up when there is a lack of blood. When he's about to pass out, the effect appears, and that is exactly what is almost happening while she tells him to hold on. But the poor guy hits his head on the floor. So yeah, it activated, but he kind of blacked out and she says that is another failure. The arm comes back, he rushes in and she calls Lucia, who instantly activates the holy power. After a while, he opens his eye and Mirror says he finally woke up. He asks how many failures and she says 10 total. And the worst part is they are running out of blood bags, so how long can this keep going? He says he has to keep going until he can trigger the reverse eye before the next mission. Lucia has no idea what is going on and Mirror explains that to prevent information leaks, Catherine blew up that whole lab. But they found out that before that she managed to move some people and drugs to another region. They set up a task force to track it, and as soon as they get the location, the next mission starts. Lucia thinks even so, he should not be pushing himself this hard. Yeah, sure, let's just let Anna kill the whole world. That is definitely better than him training. Then he talks about that girl he saved. Since she was a nun, Dominic accepted it even though she was a vampire, and he is taking care of her. She even told Lucia she wanted to thank the protagonist and everyone for saving her. He says saving a life is a good thing, but if he were stronger, he would have saved more. No, you would not. You said the girls were already dead when you got there, and you still say Mirror would be safe too. Yeah, you could have saved her too. The only thing he says that is true is that the next enemy will be stronger than Catherine, and that is why he has to get stronger. Call Mirror. This Mirror honestly always gets beat up and never does anything, so how is she training him until now? No idea, but here we go again. Meanwhile, Coco is there looking mad. We see a bit earlier when he was feeding and thanking her and she says it is no big deal. He asks why she put on the invisibility suit and she says it hurts less that way. In the middle of the blood transfer, he apologizes for going alone to kill Catherine. He knows Coco wanted to kill her more than anyone, but in the end, he sent Coco to save Mirror. She says it is fine, but she has a favor to ask. Suddenly, she pounces on him and says now they are going to flip the game. She wants to drink his blood. She wants to get stronger too, and she wants to be useful. Because the last time she faced Catherine, she was basically useless. That is why she is making an exception to drink Suhyok's blood and let him serve her so she can protect him. He realizes she figured out she was useless after his fight with Catherine. And on the day Ayaka died, she could not do much either. He gets what she means, which is that they are friends now. So he tells her it is fine and she can go ahead and feed. He used that little word and I am not saying it. And of course, the one listening from outside like always is Lucia, and she's about to explode. If this girl were Catherine, she would have basically gone to church. Scene switches to a lab where the doctors are saying something is strange because the organs are not there. This was not a real corpse. Meanwhile, there is someone nearby in a hood watching some people from a distance. Armed guys come up and say this is no place for a kid. The person tells them to shut up and call the boss. Was Catherine there? Wait, she is alive. Now I am confused. We are meeting number 4 from the Nanayama squad named Natalie, and also the vice captain number 4 named Berenice. And that is a pretty name. There's also another one, the blonde, who tells them not to get confident in vampire abilities because they need to train their bodies too. That one is the commander captain of the whole group named Abigail, and in front of them, someone tells them to shut up. It is Catherine, full of hate, saying if it was not for that damn Lily, she would have won. The truth is, she almost died when her blood started getting drained. But she is not dumb. She disguised herself as a little snake and slipped out in the fog. They ask what happened to the Russia lab, and Berenice says she already heard it all got blown up because of an order from Anna. That was to control data leaks, and the information was already transferred to Anna's lab. Then they talk about someone competent who is the person who created the blood fog, which looks like it is the name of the drug. Abigail says of course it was that person, he is her subordinate, and they are all elite. Meanwhile, Natalie is basically drooling over Catherine. Berenice asks what Catherine is doing there, and if she shrank by accident, is she asking for help. Catherine says she is there to report that her disciple Ayaka was killed. Looks like Ayaka found a second friend she had in the world, and Abigail asks who did it. And here comes the lie. Catherine says it was the person who left her tiny like this, a guy who is attacking all the squad leaders, and if he attacked her, then they are probably next. Catherine is smiling like, hee, I killed your disciple, but this is the perfect chance to make that guy the target for everyone. Because unlike Catherine, who just wanted to play Fortnite, Abigail is all about fighting like a living weapon. She's the perfect person to kill Suhyok. But Abigail stands up and says whatever. Catherine asks if she does not want revenge. Abigail says on the battlefield everyone dies. Ayaka died because she was weak. Instead of attacking carelessly, they need to prepare to defend themselves. Catherine cannot understand why this fight addict is suddenly backing off. Maybe it is an order from Anna. Catherine drops into the chair and says fine, then she will pretend it does not matter. The girls ask if this guy is really that strong. Catherine says no, he is not that strong. It is just that she did not expect him to be a little stronger than normal. He just turned into a vampire and she did not think he would already have those eyes. Abigail, confused, asks if it was not a bishop who took her down. Catherine says she never said that, and then suddenly, someone grabs her by the neck. Catherine wants to know what is going on. And here comes another one with that annoyed face asking where that guy is. Hopefully she is addicted to fighting, because addicted to Fortnite, we already have enough. Speaking of Fortnite, there is Lucia talking about the autopsy on Catherine's body. What they saw did not look like the remains of someone who died. Coco asks if that means she is alive. Mirror says now it makes sense, and that is why Suhyok does not seem to have awakened some kind of ability. He says it is possible, and after the fight he is able to hold the reverse eye state more. But maybe it was not enough. Ayaka said there are certain conditions for an ability to awaken. Mirror is sure of that, and now it is starting to get clear why he cannot get Catherine's abilities. What they need to know is what the exact difference is. Suddenly, Coco seems to smell something. The protagonist notices too, and the scene cuts to downstairs where one guy is about to ask his friend something. But someone appears behind them, and it is Abigail, asking if Suhyok is around. The guy tries to warn them there is a vampire, but she blows his head up and tells him to shut up. Another one attacks, but the stab does absolutely nothing. She even asks what he thinks he is doing. Then she grabs the silver knife and crushes it, and once again demands that someone tells her where Suhyok is. The poor guy is over there almost peeing his pants while she says that Death Squad is trash. They are gonna need an army to kill her, yeah. And she tells God that in the next life he better be born stronger. It was supposed to be the kid getting killed, but all of a sudden there is this golden glow and she has to step back. Little Lucia with that dirty mind just showed up. At the same time, Mirror is already coming in from the side, swinging her sword at her. Damn, is she really gonna handle a 5 versus 1? She's under pressure, but she is enjoying it. She throws Mirror back. The guy is grateful, while she wants to know what that woman's abilities are. He says he does not really know, but after she cut off her own arm, a sword materialized. She says she gets it, and tells him to pass that info to the sanctuary. Abigail is laughing, saying things finally got interesting. And now she found who she has been looking for, Mr. Suhyok. Come on, he is young, do not call him Mr. She heard from Catherine that he wants to kill all the captains, and on top of that, he has that eye. She does not know exactly why, but she knows she wants to fight him. Now I realize the protagonist has not scored a single corner for us, and you know the artist keeps teasing. Coco is sniffing around when the woman asks what she is doing there. Is she friends with the enemy? Mirror flinches and Coco is watching Abigail's hands. Then she suddenly grabs Suhyok's arm and he asks if she is there to capture him. She cannot do that because he is her subordinate. Abigail does not get it while Coco complains, saying she is done, they do not need to be friends anymore, she can leave. Abigail thinks about how tragic Ayaka's life is. The girl she protected her whole life and now she joined the enemies. Mirror cuts in and warns her they have 2 bishops and 2 captains, so she should give up. Not because she will walk out alive, but because she has no chance of dying peacefully. Abigail rests the sword on her shaking shoulder and says nobody there is on her level, even if they are captains. In an arena washed in blood, she is unbeatable, and then a bunch of spikes burst out of the ground. Damn, Mirror actually reflected it and defended. Just because I complain she never does anything in fights, but she is still gonna get wrecked. Lucia tries to back off, but in a split second, Abigail teleports and she is just standing right next to her. I thought she would miss, but she drives an axe straight in. Mirror is about to say something, but Abigail tells the girl to watch closely and says she should have stayed farther away. Next one. And there goes Mirror getting wrecked too. But then Coco jumps in and clings to Abigail while the protagonist lands a hit right in her mouth. Take that, idiot. It is weird because he stabbed her, but it looked more like the impact of a punch. He tells Mirror to calm down, that he will buy some time and she should take care of Lucia first. Mirror runs over, but Lucia is almost split open like a bread roll. She thinks the wound is way too deep. I was about to say these holy girls never heal, and then she starts healing. And Lucia is useless too, for real. All she has in her head is that one thing. Meanwhile, Abigail stares at the protagonist and says, now it is confirmed. He still has not awakened and he only managed to manifest once. She thought it would be a good fight, but it will end fast. Today she is killing every human in this hotel. Why is he shocked? Did he think she came to play cards with everyone? She slaps her hand on her chest, pulls out a spear and says if he wants to stop her, he has to awaken his ability. Yeah, how convenient, like he has been training for 15 chapters to awaken this thing. She turns and walks and I have to admit she has some swagger. The protagonist is staring like, wow, what a formidable opponent. Who are you and what did you do with him? He drives a full stab into her face and the knife almost breaks. Looks like he has to use that thing. Then he is like, no, if I lose control, I will hurt Lucia. She is already torn in half, just leave her. Then both of them rush in with Coco jumping around like an idiot. Abigail just raises the spear and says she is not interested, but Coco slips past with a cutting move. The protagonist notices she is fast. Did we really need to remember the artist's favorite talent? He probably thinks it is because she drank his blood. Compared to the last time he saw her fight Catherine, she looks totally different. Abigail is actually getting pressured. Here comes the protagonist like Mike Tyson throwing hands. The spear goes for his eye, he deflects with his hand and lands one in her mouth. She is stunned and he is fighting like some Krav Maga highlight reel. He keeps going, she tries to cut again, he dodges again, and now a boot is coming in. How do you even do that spinning kick? He goes full Beyblade and sends her flying. He gets confident saying he can win. And that is exactly when you get beat up because you said that. The only thing he figured out so far is that she has weapon formation. If she wants to fight him using human style, then there is no way he can lose. Yeah, no, he almost takes a spear to the neck and barely ducks. She is already shocked at his new speed. She rushes in, slashing, and he has to retreat. He hangs in midair for a second, and a thrust comes straight for his mouth, and he does not have golden skin. I stab too. Abigail closes in and he covers his face and looks forward. He finally realizes she was not fighting seriously, and she says the choice of battle belongs to the strong. She is not even interested in someone who can barely control his own power. Coco tries to attack, but she is back to her usual self and is not doing anything. Now Abigail equips that paladin armor with 100% reflection, and Coco gets hurt just from hitting her. She goes again while Abigail says Coco got stronger, but she is predictable like always. She is basically about to faceplant into the spear. The protagonist shoves her aside and tells her to get out of the way. She slams into the wall, thinking she almost died while he stands there chest out. Abigail says it is funny, after all this he still cannot use his ability. Last time he used it he had to melt down to the bones, so yeah, this is nothing. She pulls the spear out and walks like she does not care about him at all. That is straight humiliation. Soo-hyuk, wake up. He is randomly dozing off like he is about to pass out. He calls to Coco and she smiles, and he tells her to look after Mirror and Lucia. And now his eyes are all black. Abigail is walking with her abs tight when she feels something coming. Without even looking, she tells Coco she is not interested, so stop. Then something leaps at her. She turns to call it stupid, but her eyes go wide and she takes a hit across the arms and gets launched away. It is the protagonist, and she is shocked because he is stronger than before. How did he get like that? Then she smiles and says he finally brought what she wants, his awakened ability. He comes in like a bullet, and Mirror throws the spear, saying she wants to see everything he has. Come to me, Soo-hyuk, and they are both yelling. What is this artist? Out of nowhere, he pulls that line like he has a new kind of weirdness because every 15 panels one has to go hard. Mirror has her hand on her stomach trying to heal her friend, but her healing is too weak. Coco runs over saying they are screwed because Soo-hyuk awakened his power. She knows things are dangerous now, but the brawl is insane: spear to the chest and punch to the mouth. Abigail is stunned. This kid is crazy. He is letting himself get hit just to hit back. He is like a dog lunging nonstop. She pulls out that Spartan spear like Leonidas, and it goes right for his mouth. Fine, then take it. He tanks it and keeps going. She dodges gracefully, grabs the spear she had planted from far away, spins, and yanks it out. I do not know how, but he still comes in with a punch. That one was brutal and had real swagger. She gets smashed into the wall and she feels his pressure while he is punching the spear for some reason. It is like a JoJo combo sequence, nonstop yelling, and she is trying to figure out how she is supposed to get out of this. His speed and strength are absurd. The regeneration makes no sense. This really is a fully awakened vampire. The pillars are almost collapsing while she says something is off. His attacks are sloppy and he is not even trying to defend. He is basically a beast, and he is throwing aerial hits too. Now she comes in with that little sword. She cuts him up like a butcher. What a massacre. The protagonist is getting whipped around, but he grabs her big sword hard and tries to lock her in, but she slips away. Big hand behind the neck, knee to the mouth, full UFC. She rushes in and squeezes his heart literally while calling him a pathetic bastard. Her hand comes out the other side, and she says if he cannot control that power and acts like a beast, then he does not deserve it. Back with the girls, Mirror flinches when she hears Abigail saying she had big expectations for those eyes. Abigail walks up saying it is a shame she is so disappointed. Coco steps in to protect, and Mirror is in shock. No way Soo-hyuk lost that easily. Abigail tells the bishop to pick up her weapon already because it is ridiculous to die like this. Her friend is going to die anyway, so she should at least have some honor. Mirror does not react, so Abigail moves in Spartan style again, but then she feels something coming from the left, and a blue glow hits her. She wonders what kind of flames those are, and someone tells Mirror not to interrupt. Is it Cecilia going off? Mirror watches. Yeah, it is her. I never forget a friend. She says she came to incinerate the vampires. Now it is a 1 versus 1 with abs. Abigail is happy, saying another bishop finally showed up and she looks strong. Okay, artist, I take it back. I will not complain anymore. Mirror yells for Cecilia to watch out for the blood weapon, but Cecilia smacks the spear aside and says she does not care, she is going to die soon anyway. Abigail's blood looks like it is melting. She throws Cecilia back and charges, but gets blasted with blue fire to the face. She splits the flames and meets Cecilia midair. Cecilia retreats but steps in a pool of blood, and Abigail instantly triggers the spike sequence. Cecilia answers by igniting fire on her foot and jumps like a King of Fighters character. She throws a flame punch to the mouth, but Abigail answers with that helicopter move. The fight looks even, but Abigail's weapon is not holding up anymore. Then she says now this is it in this world. No matter how good the ingredients are, there is still a huge difference compared to the real thing. Mirror is confused. Why is she talking about ingredients? Cecilia tells her the sun is about to rise, so Abigail should come at her and shut up. Abigail smiles like she is letting her heart loose and says she is going to pierce her now. They rush again, and then it looks like a flashbang drops in the middle of the hall. They do not get it, but it is not that. It is Catherine's poison spreading. Abigail looks back and says she already told that idiot not to interfere. Then Berenice, the accountant, shows up saying it is an order above her. Abigail has to stop these solo actions right now and come back. Abigail is furious, calling someone a bastard, but she sees the blade out of the corner of her eye and decides to retreat. Cecilia says she will not let her leave, but the poison is between them. Even so, she stretches out a flaming fist, but Mirror yells that saving Lucia is the priority. Cecilia does not want to, but Mirror insists they need someone who can use a lot of holy power. Cecilia keeps staring, watching them run, and she is pissed. Feels like that Anna Nanayama thing again, where she does not want the protagonist dead yet. She's just trying to build him up. What is she planning to do with him? Back at the villain's base, Abigail is mad, saying it was getting fun, so why are they already moving? Lily is up front, saying she should be careful because patience has limits. Abigail is causing way more trouble than she should for Anna. Abigail says she does not care, it is not her problem. Lily looks confused, and Abigail explains, it is not my mission, so why should I care? The only thing that happened is you ruined my fun, so you are the one who has to deal with it. Looks like they are about to fight because Lily says Abigail does not even understand her position in the organization. Abigail is fight crazy and goes in swinging at her own ally like she never gets tired. Lily tries to hold back, saying fights between squad leaders are forbidden. Abigail keeps attacking, saying she is done with that story. She already knows Lily is actually weaker because that eye is nothing. She says that, and Lily blocks her spear and lands a hit to the mouth. Now Abigail smiles, saying that is what she likes. Here comes the masochist looking for fun. Abigail thinks Berenice will help, but Berenice is just standing there calm. Except no, she sees a clone and gets punched in the mouth by Berenice herself. She gets blasted into the wall. Wait, is that Lily disguised as Berenice? I do not get it. Abigail is furious, telling her to stop these pathetic tricks and fight fair. Then she tries to power up and spits blood. She drops to her knees, coughing blood, and it was not Lily because Lily looks confused, asking what happened to her. Then someone asks what all the noise is. Nanayama is here and everyone drops to their knees greeting her. She stares at them, while Lily tries to explain she was stopping Abigail because she was acting reckless. Abigail tells Anna this is different from the deal they made. She said Abigail could do whatever she wanted, and then she gets smacked in the mouth. Anna tells her to shut up because she did not speak to her. Abigail almost ruined the plan, and as far as Anna remembers, she could do whatever she wanted as long as it stayed in the shadows. Now the poor girl is apologizing over there, and all of a sudden I think Anna turned off whatever was causing pain because now she is calm and saying that from now on she will keep it in mind. She tells Lily to come over and Lily stands up and still smacks that idiot on the head, then walks away with a devilish little smile. Abigail is furious, and she's basically ready to join the protagonist's little group too just to kill that tall one. Scene change. We are at the hospital where Lucia is probably hospitalized, and it was all for nothing. She should have put up one of her little barriers. Now she is intubated like a Teletubby. Outside, Cecilia tells Mirror it is not too late and they should kill Suyok. Mirror says they already talked about that, so drop it. Out of nowhere, she punches the wall, another one losing control. Looks like the abdomen costs women a bit of their mind control. She's yelling, saying the base got exposed, members died all because of that guy. Then Mirror pulls up her shirt and wow, pull it up a little more. Then she tells Cecilia to watch what she says. She knows that decision sacrifices countless people, but without Suyok, humanity will suffer a lot longer under Anna. She saw the revelation and Suyok is the one who is going to kill that woman. They stare each other down in this weird kind of fight while Cecilia says she is done and she will not talk about it again. That whole thing about him being chosen or some threat coming was all fake. Then suddenly both of them get hit by this light freakout and they start seeing a church with everyone dead out front. Lily is staring, and I do not even know what happened, but they are holding their heads. So yeah, both of them got another revelation and noticed the vampire and it looked kind of familiar. Then a guy comes from the back warning the bishops they have an emergency. The sanctuary was under attack. Then the scene cuts to the sanctuary and everyone is dead. That real-time revelation does not help much. The guy is saying that is impossible and then he gets ripped apart too. Lily is slaughtering everyone and she tells Anna it is handled. She is destroying the cross, saying the task force is going to be wiped out. Next chapter, Cecilia is arriving because she was probably far away, so the revelation is basically a webcam. She sees everyone dead and hears someone's voice, and it is Hildy coming up from the side. Cecilia asks what happened, and Hildy says they are investigating, but Dominic is waiting for her. Artist toss in his usual little legal bomb. Dominic is standing in the church when Cecilia walks in calling for the master, trying to understand what happened. He says this is the second recent attack after the one in Russia. This time the difference is there are no enemy bodies here. They apparently developed a stronger drug. Then a guy nearby is coughing. He calls for the bishop and Cecilia runs to help, but the guy says it was not them. Then we see the guy opening the door saying the enemies are attacking and he is going to help, and he asks how many there are, and the guy turns into Lily and says just me. Then he gets cut. The other two run over to see what is happening and they get sliced up too. She is acting all proud, but then she takes a bullet and almost dies, or I do not know. She looks pretty scared. The guy asks what the hell she is doing there because she says the gun is outdated and she only has a little knife. But when he is about to tell her to drop the knife, he gets shot in the head. She even says he was letting his guard down too much. Seeing the first bodies, she says this place is amazing. No matter how many she finishes, they keep coming. The guy on the ground just watches everyone getting chopped up and apologizes for not being able to protect the sanctuary. Back to Cecilia, who looks shaken. A vampire got into the sanctuary, and that should be impossible. This place is protected by sacred relics. Then one of the guys calls Dominic and says they have a terrible emergency. The sacred relic is gone. The altar it was on is empty. Cecilia immediately knows that is Dominic's weapon, and now they are screwed. He says that is not even the most important part. They nullify the protection it provides, which means all sanctuaries, even Seoul, are not safe anymore. They probably have someone infiltrated inside the task force. Only the strike force members have access to this place, so whoever took the relic is someone from their own group. Cecilia already wants to start throwing hands, but he tells her to calm down and says they are discussing possibilities. You said all that with so much certainty, huh? He tells her to stop getting shaken by every piece of information. Someone like her should judge things rationally, or she is going to send everyone to their deaths in a stupid way. She says fine, she will go to Seoul to protect the relic and the base there. He thanks her and says that is much better. Then she asks where Mirror is because she says Mirror cannot come, she is taking care of the Teletubby. What, she became a doctor out of nowhere. Leave her alone. In this world of fighting, you cannot just sit in a hospital waiting for someone to wake up from a coma. Dominic asks her to pass on a message. Mirror's team's next mission is to attack Catherine's base. The location is in Mexico and they finally found the exact spot. Looks like that is where the drugs are being trafficked, and Anna already took control of the cartel. And of course, the one personally running everything is the leader of Squad 4, Abigail. At the base, Catherine is thinking Abigail is taking too long. At least Soo-hyuk should be dead, but then Abigail shows up, sits down, and says she is pissed. Catherine, not really getting it, asks Soo-hyuk. Abigail tells her to forget that guy. Now she knows Catherine got shrunk like that because of Lily too. Catherine says, yeah, if it was not for that bastard, this would not have happened. Catherine asks why she's bringing it up, and Abigail says she ran into Lily, and now she is realizing all of this is connected to Anna. She is also realizing that the moment any squad leader becomes even a little useless, they get eliminated. And going from bottom to top, she is next. But for now, she is calm. She is following orders properly, and she is not going to sit around waiting for it to happen. She smiles at Catherine, who still does not get it, and says from now on she is going to work. The artist took a little photo of Lucia now, but it is family-friendly considering what that woman thinks. The scene goes to a base where they are talking to that vampire the protagonist saved. It is Dominic saying she does not seem dangerous and now she will be under his supervision. Or is she the traitor? Even though she is a vampire, can she be in the sanctuary while being a vampire? Her name is Lisa, and she is smiling, telling the bishop he can count on her. He says she was called because she is the only survivor who escaped the vampires in Russia. They destroyed all the nearby churches, monasteries, and even her convent was targeted. Incidents like that are happening in Korea, and they brought her here hoping she can help somehow. She agrees, but she looks confused. Then he says these are images captured by the Russia team. When she looks, she panics, drops to the floor, apologizing, begging to be forgiven. He says it is just a photo. He does not get it. Why is she reacting like this? She points at Lily and says that woman massacred all the believers and kidnapped her. Dominic asks if she really remembers the face, and she says yes, but it does not matter because her appearance keeps changing all the time. Dominic realizes it matches what that guy said about her, transforming right in front of him. The person Cecilia saw attacking the sanctuary, it all connects to her. And that woman is directly connected to Anna, so what is she planning? We find out now because Lily reports she successfully removed the relics from the Busan sanctuary. Meanwhile, what is this? Those huge boobs, and you're taking a red bath. Anna says good job and asks how the next one is going because Lily says just like Anna asked, it has already been planted. It will be easy to destroy Seoul, the same way they destroyed Busan. The only problem is the relics there are much more powerful, and they need more time to prepare. Anna says it is fine, he still was not ready. She has been planning this for so long that even if it takes a bit longer, it is fine. She gets out of the bath and says soon she will fulfill her wish and once and for all destroy the Vatican. She puts a hand on Lily's shoulder and says for this important plan, Lily is crucial. Lily smiles and tells Anna not to worry, she can count on her. Scene change back to the hospital, and finally, the poor girl is not a Teletubby anymore. Mirror is there on watch, just remembering all those moments when Lucia would cling to her and crush her in that unfair one-on-one. Every day she got hurt, every time they fought, she cannot believe she is like this now. She thinks sorry Lucia, just like Cecilia said if I had not brought Soo-hyuk, maybe this would not have happened. She is really two-faced. At least her hate is aimed at Abigail. Then her phone rings and she gets told about the mission in Mexico. That is where Abigail is, and she will get the details in person, and she has to go to the hotel. She tells the Teletubby to rest a little more because she is going to get revenge now and turn the life of the person who did this into hell. She's feeling herself. No teammate of mine is going through this. On this mission, I am ending that woman. She has the face of someone who is about to get beat up. She gets another call and she thinks it is Soo-hyuk saying he found Anna's address and all the bishops should go where he is about to send. Could that be a shapeshifted one? He is looking furious. We see a bit earlier when Coco was there having a drink talking to a boy. Poor old people in the hospital, almost dying, being forced to see that. What is going on with you, girl? He asks, where is Abigail? Coco says Berenice took her. The protagonist notices that once again, after activating the black eye, he not only could not win, he barely remembers anything. He still was not enough to surpass that woman. At this pace, he cannot even dream about revenge. Then someone asks, did you hear the news? Looks like last night the Busan sanctuary completely collapsed. Another guy says, yeah, I heard the relics were taken. The protagonist jumps up like, what do you mean? The guy is about to explain, but the protagonist is already calling Coco, saying they have to find Abigail, and he runs out. The kid woke up and went straight to work. He knows it has been a day, but since Coco can track blood, maybe they can find her. He knows those women love to trick people, but there is a good chance they are together right now for the next plan, and by tracking the blood, they will find the location of both Abigail and Anna. Then we are there face to face with the building, and Coco says Abigail went to this place, but the scent is fading, so she's not sure. Then suddenly Coco gets hit with a shock. The protagonist asks what is wrong, and Coco says she smelled Anna. That is when he sent the message explaining how he found the location. Confirmed that is their Korea base, and he told them to call all the bishops. We see some guys walking around saying Nana Yoma's group is really impressive. They control all the international drug markets. Looks like they can deliver you anything good. But the boss got a weird order this time, something about warning anyone with a cross eye. The guys are confused, like where are we supposed to see someone with a cross pupil? Right then the wall explodes, and with the blue flames you already know who is coming. Someone asks, where is Anna? Cecilia and the whole crew showed up to attack. Finally, they are going to shock these vampires, but I still want to know how strong Anna really is. She is probably insanely strong, obviously. Guys are getting rockets to the chest, while Cecilia says she hates working with a vampire. But let's go because there is stuff to settle. According to Coco, there are at least 2 in there. Cecilia starts laying it out. They will move in pairs, and when someone finds Anna, they all regroup. They have members waiting outside, so there is no way they escape without being seen. Anna's base people come rushing in, but Hild and Dominic are the heavy hitters. Hild has that demon angel thing showing up throwing punches. Dominic is supposedly everyone's master. Mirror charges with her sword glowing and starts slicing everyone up. Soo-hyuk pushes forward and she tells him to be careful. He tells her the same, but he is clearly hunting at full speed, saying today, unlike that day, he is going to finish her. Some unlucky guys run into him on the stairs thinking they will do something, but he grabs the gun right out of the guy's hand, kills him, and keeps going. He goes for the next one who tries to counter, but he slips his hand under the arm and slams him to the ground. He even tells Coco to enjoy the meal and she goes to devour the poor guy. Everyone is dead on the stairs and in the hallways, and finally they are in front of the door where the smell was strongest. He asks where Dominic and Hild are, and Mirror says they are dealing with other people in the lobby. Cecilia says they do not have time to wait. If they are not here, they will have to link up fast, so they better go in hard. The protagonist walks forward, remembering the last time he walked into something like this with two allies and both got shot in the head and died. He thinks he is going to find Anna holding a head. He opens the door, but this time a huge hand flies into his face. So is that Anna moving at full speed or a big red eye staring at him? Next chapter, we see some idiots going after Hild who everyone is scared of. Open that circle up and hands rain down on them. Dominic offers the blonde guy a chance to surrender. Looks like he is the boss of one of Nanayama's organizations. If he just says where Anna is, he could be spared. The guy laughs and says today he is not the one getting spared. In the end, it is the church people who will have to surrender. Anna gave the international faction a gift to get them to the top. The Korean underworld now has a new way to handle all this. Congrats, Dominic. You let the guy reach into his pocket, grab the injection, stick it in his neck, and start transforming. He says this gives an ordinary person the same strength as someone at squad leader level. The bishop's end would be right there. Back to the scene where the huge hand flew at Soo-hyuk, but he grabbed it and stared and slammed it into the wall. Nobody understands what just happened, and it looks like an Anna in handcuffs. What is going on? Looks like it is not her. The protagonist tells her to be careful and go in. A white-haired one comes in furious to swipe, but gets met by Cecilia, crushing them. Cecilia immediately lifts up and asks where Anna is. But the kid is not answering, and she realizes she is a low-level vampire who cannot even talk properly. Damn, that ending is pure cruelty. No mercy at all, they straight up grilled her. While she says it is fine, she is going to find that damn Anna by herself and burn every vampire. She left the leftovers behind, and now here comes the artist throwing hands with Natalie, and he even went easy on her. Compared to the kid's strength, they are nerfing the boy. I think the pencil burned out. Now Cecilia asks the protagonist where is Anna. Did he not say she was here? He says yes. Coco warned them, but obviously the scent was already a few days old. Looks like she found out they were coming and left. And man, Cecilia is annoying too. She is there like I told you. Mirror, they cause more trouble than they help. She is there saying she wants to kill the protagonist. Damn, you really deserve a punch in the mouth. The guy raided their base you. Just killed a vampire and you still think it was fake info. Mirror wants to defend the protagonist, but even he looks awkward because he told them to bring all the bishops, and it did not really lead to much. Then Dominic shows up carrying the guy, saying it is not completely true. This blonde kid here is the boss he promised to tell everything as long as he gets out alive. The drug they have been delivering is that bloody snow, and it temporarily gives vampire abilities to normal people. Mirror says she found something similar on the Russia mission, and that explained why those normal guys had wounds that healed fast. The protagonist says maybe it is also connected to what was being injected in those capsule mines, and Dominic, remembering that earlier list, says they are probably forcing even more people into those experiments they really needed to rush this mission and end it fast. The scene switches to Berenice's lab, where she's clearly still running experiments, while Catherine is in the other room, exhausted and furious because now she has to obey whatever that damn Abigail says. She starts kicking Natalie, saying she is pissed. She has to go through this because of her master. Right then, Abigail shows up and tells her to say it again, and she grabs her by the head, saying the little girl has to listen to mommy. She hugs her and tells her to stop being angry. Both of them are targets for Anna, so they can only rely on each other. On top of that, she has a new plan and she wants Soo-hyuk. Catherine gets startled and blushes and says, wow, so Abigail finally wants to become a real woman. And Abigail tells her to stop thinking they are the same. She only remembered that Anna said something about someone almost ruining the plan, and considering everything it is because she almost killed Soo-hyuk. So whatever Anna's plan is, it involves that guy, and if they have him, they can negotiate with her. Catherine looks interested because securing Soo-hyuk is exactly what she wanted, yeah, but let us say she wants him for more normal human reasons. But she says it will not be that easy because Anna still has Lily. Abigail explains they have the advantage because Soo-hyuk is hunting the leaders and she is next. Catherine is still unsure, saying they will have to deal with a bunch of bishops, but Abigail says they are weak as hell, she can make them run easily. If those Vatican bastards come there, they will all die. And she has her extremely useful maids right, one drooling lie, an idiot, and the other only good for research. Or actually, no, because she has a whole army of manufactured female vampires. Back at the protagonist's base, they are talking about not rushing. First, they need to analyze the blood snow for a few days. Mirror does not get it, so he explains they talk to that guy and learn how it is being sold in the underworld. At the same time, it is an experiment and a biological weapon, and they have a lot to learn. Anyway, Dominic puts a hand on the protagonist's shoulder and says he did really well. Anna was not there, but they managed to get the drug and prevent a bunch of vampires from being released into the world. He says it is nothing, and right then, Cecilia agrees, saying he was useless. Anna was already gone, and he had the nerve to mobilize all the bishops based on unconfirmed info from a former vampire leader. The task force team really went to trash. Mirror tries to say that even if Coco is a leader, her sense of smell is incredible. But then Coco suddenly asks if Dominic is a vampire. Strangely, Mirror looks confused too, and Cecilia hits the protagonist and says she will deal with it later. But this time, the smile is not going to slide so easily. Dominic does not really understand and apologizes. He says everyone should rest and he will analyze the blood snow. Mirror is being humble, and with that, we cut to when the preliminary analysis is done. Now they know Anna Underworld has already taken over Japan and a big part of the world thanks to this weird drug. International factions are all interested because of the abilities it gives. The problem is there are side effects when it wears off. The protagonist remembers that gang that surrounded him at the bar where everyone looked like they were on something. And Dominic makes a bold guess. He says maybe this drug is vampire blood. Wow, who would have thought? They found transmuted cells that can destroy human tissue and rebuild it into vampire-like tissue. Mirror understands that must be the solution to the fact that not every human can truly become a real vampire. Dominic explains it must be the result of research into vampire transformation. Even if it gives part of the powers, it does not match real strength. But eventually, if they really have this technology, they could mass-produce leaders. So Natalie looks like she is already a manufactured vampire made by Berenice, Tech, Mirror, and Cecilia say that is impossible. Success in creating a vampire is hard and even more so at leader level. Dominic says it is not completely impossible, maybe with the right people. If you administer it little by little, you can control the drug aggression while increasing the powers. And one thing he is sure about, whoever is leading this research is extremely competent, obviously, Berenice. That is the info he has, and the obvious mission is to destroy those labs as fast as possible, save the people in the experiments, and stop mass production. Back in the lab, Catherine is celebrating, saying she finally finished this. Now the bastard who treats her like a child is going to suffer. Then she orders Natalie to take her to the master, and she climbs on her back, arms crossed, saying she is done with Abigail giving orders. But then she gets startled. Oh my god, it is just Abigail getting a little message asking if she finished the mission. Catherine, shocked, asks what is going on, and Abigail says she has been fighting a lot and it is time to loosen up the muscles. Catherine is furious, saying that bitch is being treated like a queen while she is working like a slave. But anyway, here's what she needed. Abigail praises her and says now she can finally relax. Catherine does not think it will work. She says this will only make her even angrier. Abigail turns and says she does not need to worry. She already has the plan. Just trust her and follow the path. No more muscle relaxing for today. Catherine keeps trash talking, telling that bitch to do something until she gets slapped twice in the face. Damn, she got crushed. That is the kind of thing that always happens when it is our protagonist, but that bastard still does not even leave the corner. While Abigail takes the experiment and says now nobody is going to ignore her. And now we are at an inn in Mexico. The men in black arrived and Mirror tells him to keep everything confidential. Looks like Coco was not brought this time so she would not cause trouble. Officially, they are secret agents there to take down the cartels, but the real target is Abigail Base. Mirror tells her to be careful. They probably already know they are coming and there will be some kind of trap. And on top of all the cartels, there is one called Border Region, and it is the most dangerous. There the guys are above the law and they stretch bodies out in the slums to show. Atrocities are committed without hesitation. Disappearances and death are everyday things. It will not be an easy job. That is also what outsiders think about Brazil. Mirror says, relax girl, this time we have her support. Then Cecilia shows up with her abs covered for the first time ever. Dominic suggested she come along and she complained she did not want to, but he said her abilities looked like a good match against Abigail. Her power would be a huge help, so she should go. Of course she is mad, but Mirror says with the three of them, they can handle it. Then someone calls them. A soldier introduces himself as Diego and says he will support the operation. He will escort everyone, so they should follow him. You can tell Cecilia is the artist's favorite. He tries way harder on her drawings. In the room, Diego says the region is a war zone because of the cartels, and he will be honest. He cannot trust any of the three of them. He got orders to share information with them, but unfortunately for him, everyone's identity is uncertain. Mirror asks if he is going to challenge orders from above. He says he is being cautious. Because of people faking identities, some police and military have already been killed. The protagonist figured they would not trust them, but to do the mission, he needs support. So he asks how he can prove they are allied agents, and Diego just starts walking and tells them to follow. Looks like they are talking in English and Spanish or whatever because Mirror is not understanding anything. Diego explains the city mayor was captured by the cartel and they declared war. Most allies were executed and the guy is close to getting killed too. The mission is obvious, rescue him. He is about to offer weapons, but the protagonist cuts him off and says it is enough. Just take us to the place and we will handle it now. Somewhere else, someone says most of them were executed. Damn, only the mayor is left. Hold on. Then it is like the crowd is voting for the wrong actions. No wait, the mayor is on the side. I think that is his wife, I do not know. Right then, they hear chaos outside, the door slowly opens. I thought it would be an ally, but it is a thug. No, I was right, the guy is yelling, telling the bastards to leave the mayor wife alone, but then his body drops to the floor. Someone calls for Olivia, and Chad walks in saying he came to handle it, follow daddy. The two idiots run through the hallway in shock because he handled it alone with a knife. Then he says his team is impressive, right? Who are they? He says he has no team, it is just him. Suddenly, two guys pop up in the back like a CS match. The guy planting is shocked, but relaxed, the flying knife hits the first one in the head. The other pulls his gun to shoot, but the kid is basically cheating. Done, counter-terrorists win the round. Take your AK, go do something with your life. I will go first while you protect the mayor wife. She says she's going with him, he should not go alone. He says no big head, stay back, the boss will handle it. He pulls a grenade and throws it right at their feet in that exact pixel spot. Olivia Tand looks back and sees the protagonist defending the site solo. The kid has the sensitivity. Outside, some guys are laughing, asking what one guy is going to do alone. Diego was stupid. This operation is a waste. Then someone calls for Diego and everyone freaks out. The protagonist shows up untouched, not a single drop of blood on his shirt, and says it is done. Now give me the info on all the cartels in the region. If you do not obey, I will consider this insubordination by a soldier. Next chapter, Olivia Tan says our boy is incredible. Now that she is dressed, she looks all wrinkled. When she was on the floor, she looked like a model, this artist man. Everyone is thanking the protagonist, and the big jaw guy says he will take them to a place to stay. They do not have to pay anything, blah, blah, blah. But the protagonist is not interested. He is only thinking about the cartel info. Diego handed over, plus an old walkie-talkie to contact him. Diego also apologizes. He did not know the protagonist was basically prime cold Zera, and the protagonist says he only wants a small favor. Come on, artist, stop drawing Coco. She is mentally messed up. For the love of God, move to the next panel. It is the mayor wife's servant thanking them, showing the room while the protagonist already got a message on his new flip phone. He hands some papers to Mirror and tells them to go into the room. He has something to talk about with Diego. Mirror says lately he has been doing too much alone, and Cecilia says perfect, let him handle the small stuff. They need to worry about the real problem, which is the fight against Abigail, because that woman is strong. Even with both of them, it will not be that easy. Then Mirror says, what if instead of 2, Suyok has 3? Cecilia does not get it. Mirror wants to get him 1 more. She says every time he drinks some blood, he gets stronger, so what if he drinks the blood of another bishop with powers? He could get really powerful. Cecilia cuts her off and asks if Mirror is saying she should offer her neck to a vampire. Mirror tries to explain but gets interrupted again with her yelling, saying she would rather die than let that happen. Mirror tries to argue they are not in a position to pick and choose what is worth it, but Ab's girl walks away saying it is never happening. Mirror thinks that damn girl never listens. Scene switches to a guy asking why the kid took so long. It is a cartel guy meeting with Big Jaw. The thug says, you said if we killed the mayor, everything would work out. So what happened? Did the mission fail? What is going on? And right then the protagonist does not even let them talk. He shows up with Diego and says it is exactly what he thought. Big Jaw does not get how they suspected him so fast, and the protagonist says it was obvious because he was kept alive with the mayor wife while everyone else was killed. That makes no sense. And on top of that, he handed him a gun with no bullets on purpose, just to hear him pull the trigger at a specific moment, even with no bullets in it. His plan was to kill both the main guy and her right there. In that moment, he is in shock, like how did this psycho come up with a plan like that out of nowhere in the middle of all that? And before going on the mission, the main guy was so sure of himself that he even had Diego put a GPS on his car. Now this is his last chance to stay alive, so he just has to tell everything about the cartel. He says it is fine. A few weeks ago, the cartel got in touch. The blonde guy threatens him, saying if he talks his family will disappear, but he almost got shot. The main guy tells him to keep going, and he explains that something felt off about the cartel, so he started studying them. Unlike the others, these guys were not dealing with. Damn, he was passing information, but he got taken out. That surprised me because sometimes this story drags a little. He dropped hard. On the walkie-talkie, there are some little noises. The main guy hears someone saying he made it pretty far. They got the info that their ally this time is really useful. It is a shame they have to end it like this, since things got complicated. Diego does not get it, like does he know who he is and what is going on? And the main guy realizes it was a warning that the bishops are being hunted. Even the apartment they were hiding in was a trap. And if they are going after a bishop, that means they are not sending weak people. Yeah, they are sending a drooler too. A blue-haired Coco basically. Right at the door, ready to push into the bomb site, someone says the objective is to kill that well-fed little vampire inside. They raise their guns, shots start, glass breaks, smoke goes up, then he calls ceasefire and takes a look. The first guy inside the bomb site, inside the smoke, thinks he is about to plant the little bomb, but then the CT comes out from behind the fog, and that CT is stacked. She steps right on his face. He drops the gun, and she even asks who sent those bastards there. They shoot toward the sound, but she used her buddy as a shield. And before they can do anything, she takes a nutmeg tea right to the mouth and another smack to the face. Slammed into the wall, the guy falls back, and I doubt the artist is going to draw the poor guy for me. Cecilia says they do not speak the same language. Boom, finished, and now she grabs her little bread and starts walking out, wanting to know why they attacked her there. She thinks it is weird they sent weak people, but right then, Natalie is behind her. Look, the old big Catherine needs to grow a bit because she is small now. The main guy is still at 1,000, he already knows it has been a trap from the start. The room where Mirror starts to open the door, someone comes out but face plants on the floor. She shows up asking if he finished the job. Seeing she is fine, she ignores everything and runs straight towards Cecilia's room. Knowing Cecilia has the biggest advantage against Abigail, she has to be the main target. And right now, Cecilia is dodging in her room, impressed by Natalie's speed. If this vampire really was manufactured, things are getting dangerous. Natalie comes in like a maniac. Drooling goes for a slash, Cecilia ducks and tells her to stop laughing at her too. She lands one right in the mouth, and the main guy and Mirror walk in and see she managed to restrain the girl who is asking if this is the so-called leader-level vampire. To Cecilia, this just looks like a vampire with a little more skill. But then someone on comms authorizes Natalie to use her abilities. She starts laughing, Cecilia is not really getting it, and then the girl rips off her own arm. Natalie backs up, Cecilia charges, saying she cannot let her leave alive, but the girl's hand is walking on its own. It goes behind Cecilia, the main guy tells her to watch out, and the hand starts glowing, and then boom, an explosion in the room. Next chapter, he opens his eyes, kind of confused. Sees Cecilia in front of him, arms crossed, and what is this? Mirror fell on top of him and he caught her. Mirror gets off and says, at least he saved Cecilia. We see that when he noticed the hand was about to blow, the main guy grabbed Cecilia by the back of the neck, threw her back, she landed on Mirror, and he tanked it all. Cecilia stays quiet while Mirror watches, then Cecilia says enough more people are going to attack, so they should start moving now. Mirror tells her to be more polite since they just saved her. Cecilia just asks if they want her to kneel or something. Then she asks Suhyok why he took that explosion for her. He starts to say it is because, and she cuts him off saying it is because he is a vampire who cannot die. That way of thinking is disgusting to her. He sees it as sacrifice, but to her it is arrogance. She wants to see him do the same if he were human. What are you even saying and doing because your actions and your words do not match? She says she does not need his help. Fine, she changed clothes and she will be waiting outside, so they better go when they are ready. Mirror apologizes like, yeah, that friend is not very friendly. And the main guy is mentally shaken. Since he became a vampire, he really started thinking being immortal was normal. But Mirror slaps him and tells him to wake up and stop taking that idiot seriously. The reason he is on this team is because so many times he risked himself for everyone. And also because he is still doing the mission even as a vampire. That proves his humanity is still intact. No need to worry, you are doing your best. Later that night, Cecilia says they have very little information. It is hard. How are they supposed to find these people like this? Mirror says at least now they have cartel info that Diego gave them. Cecilia says, so what? They are not here to take down the cartel, they are here to hunt vampires. And that guy does not seem trustworthy. The main guy says they do not have many people to trust besides him. They will use the info, at least, and right then, the phone rings. It is Diego, and the main guy is about to say the mission worked when Diego tells him to get out of Mexico now. They mess with someone they should not have. Diego got wrecked. He says he does not know where these monsters came from. The main guy yells for him to hold on, but it is over. An explosion goes off. Mirror asks what happened, and he says he thinks Diego is done. Something is off. These cartel people are dangerous, but they would not go against the government like this, which means the explosion is coming for them too. Probably vampire stuff. Bombs are going off everywhere. A masked guy shows up with the family, and then damn, it blew up. Cecilia is in shock. They are killing civilians. It is the same kind of explosion that happened in the room earlier. The main guy looks to the side, and the three crazy girls squad is coming, saying there is a bishop here, and today she is going to kill everyone. Berenice says 100 syndicate members are under Natalie's ability. If the bishops do not show up, all the civilians will die in 5 minutes. Next to her, Natalie is acting like an idiot with one hand missing. Abigail yells for all the bishops to show themselves. The longer they take, the more innocents die. Someone heals Natalie's hand, and she says, with Lily and Anna far away, there is nothing that can stop her. The main guy tells Mirror to wait because it is clearly a trap. The problem is the more they stall, the more civilians die. Cecilia is already getting ready, saying the leader is hers. Baroness warns something is coming from the side and recognizes the blue flames, saying it is bad because they are at a disadvantage against that one, so she should be careful. Abigail is all fired up and charges, saying she has been dying to meet her. Kicks on the sword, heads getting cut. Mirror is wiping people out, saying at least they can kill these guys before they explode so she can save most of the civilians. But then she has to defend against Natalie's attack. Of course, it was not going to be that easy. Mirror's advantage is she knows exactly what Natalie's power is. She can rip off a piece of her body and then make it explode. But Mirror trips her, pins her through the chest, and nails her to the ground. She starts quoting Matthew 16 verse 18 and basically drops a whole psalm like, on this rock I will build my church and the gates of Hades. Natalie is holding the sword trying to pull it out, but then a Garen ult comes down from above and she gets crushed. Why did you never use that before, Mirror? We are like 50-something chapters in and you never used it until now. Natalie is split in half and Mirror says she will send the boss to visit her soon. But the main guy is not dumb. He grabs her and runs and the girl explodes. He says they are in a sniper's sights and that is the one giving Natalie orders. Baroness is there with her, 50, and he knows they have to deal with her first because she is the one commanding everyone. And to protect herself, she surrounded herself with cartel guys. The good part is if they take her out, the only one left is Abigail. We see an earlier conversation where Baroness was told Suhyok would be there and Abigail wanted him brought to her. So Baroness knew she would have to at least eliminate the bishop to make the mission easier. The main guy says they are ahead because they eliminated Natalie, but then she starts rebuilding herself nearby. Mirror thinks it is impossible because the Garen ult should block vampire regeneration. But Berenice explains that as long as she as the leader is alive, her friend will not die. Now the Suicide Squad can start moving again. Next chapter, the suicide explosions keep happening in the city. The main guy has to fight Natalie 1v1, and the problem is she is getting support from Berenice far away, which also makes her immortal. He needs an opening of a few seconds, just to get that woman away. He tanks Natalie's attack with his arm, and she looks confused. He thinks he made the chance, but she is smiling. The moment he pierces her arm, she holds on and starts glowing. Explosion in his chest, and now he is the one split apart. He did not expect her to ignore self-preservation that hard when her own body just blew up. She comes again to attack, but then a golden blast hits and sends her flying. She asks if he is okay and says it is really hard to deal with this. You cut one, you land a fatal hit, but regeneration makes her multiply endlessly. This kind of 1v1 is awful, especially for him because he cannot stop her. He knows with Berenice supporting her, he cannot solve it. And unlike Mirror, he does not have those huge attacks that leave the target stunned for a few seconds. It is confusing because he says that and then tells Mirror to go hunt Berenice while he holds Natalie. Even Mirror says it makes no sense because he just said he cannot stop her. But he explains that is exactly why he will lock her down there, and even if he gets blown up, he stays alive. He remembers Cecilia calling him disgusting for thinking like that because he is a vampire. Natalie starts moving toward Mirror, and he rushes in, punches her in the mouth, and tells Mirror to go now. So he ends up in a 2v1. At least if he gets blown up, he does not die. Berenice looks all cute when she takes off her general outfit. She is watching that Suhyok chose to hold Natalie. Mirror comes straight for her, and Berenice fires, but Mirror jumps in, closes the distance, and throws a light slash. Another Natalie clone jumps in front, the explosion happens, but Mirror pushes forward saying she cannot give her time to react. She has to keep pressure, but now she is face to face with the sniper barrel. Instead of Berenice getting played, Mirror redirects the gun with her sword. Mirror thinks she made the perfect chance to break their coordination, but Berenice flips back and asks if she really thinks closing the distance is enough. She teleports and is mid-air aiming, saying that choice was Mirror's defeat. One shot looks like it destroys the whole building, but Mirror tanks it on her arm. And yeah, Berenice has healer powers, that is why she regenerated Natalie earlier. She is taking Mirror seriously, saying this bishop is not weak. If it were not for Ayaka's seal, that last attack would have taken her head off. But with her and Natalie working together, they can handle it. She tells Natalie to regroup, and Natalie is hiding behind a wall, regenerating all twisted. She asks what is going on. When they look back, Natalie is on the ground and the main guy is standing there with just his ribs showing. He tells Mirror he already said he is a dead man. He does not care if he is human or vampire, he is there for revenge. His eye shifts into that black look. We see flashbacks of Anna talking to him, Cecilia trashing him, two Natalies coming at him. He grabs them by the neck, slams both into the wall. He is smiling. He lost control. He even takes a direct hit of dark balls. On the earpiece, Mirror tells him he does not need to act like that. Everyone had already pulled back. He blacked out and does not even know what happened. Mirror apologizes, saying again he had to be pushed to that limit. He tries to talk about the operation being his idea, but he collapses. I really want to know what happened. Mirror tells him to recover fast because they need to get out, but there is an explosion happening nearby. Looks like those two retreated, but Cecilia is not doing so great. The artist is on his cutest day. In that building right next door, it is flames everywhere, and Abigail is having the time of her life, saying she finally feels alive. Cecilia stares her down, then jumps as a bunch of spears shoot up from the ground, and she fires another barrage of blue flames, melting Abigail's spears. The fight keeps going, and it looks like Cecilia got countered with a really clean cut. Abigail is not doing great either. She is smashed into the wall, saying she is not weak at all. She never gets close enough to the puddles, and she can still attack from far away. She wants to see it, though. She dodges it. Damn, she throws out a Tokyo Ghoul kind of move with a bunch of blood tentacles slamming the ground, and Cecilia realizes it is getting harder and harder to get close. She tries to create distance, but she falls into a tight trap. Blood comes up from under the ground, and Abigail celebrates, saying the bishop dropped her guard too much. Now her blood is going to be drunk as spoils of war. Then Mirror comes slicing through everything and tells Cecilia she is here. Abigail is instantly confused. Why is that long sword woman here? Where are Berenice and Natalie? Then she sees the stomp and that pitch black eye, and she already knows it is Suhyuk. How is this guy walking around with the reverse eye activated? Mirror tells Abigail she made a promise to the friend Abigail killed, and she's going to show that bastard what happens to anyone who messes with the bishops. Abigail says she does not remember failures. Cecilia still wants in even after getting wrecked. Now is about to be 3 against 1. Or maybe not, because Abigail says they are not the only ones with allies. The vampire gang she created shows up, and she asks if they really think they are getting out alive. Mirror asks how they already made so many vampires. Cecilia tells her not to freak out, they are weak, just like the ones they saw before. Then all of them suddenly start getting killed by Abigail herself. Everyone is confused, but the protagonist warns them to be careful. Abigail created a vampire blood territory around her, and she says in a battlefield soaked in blood, she is unbeatable. Mirror extends her sword and says she does not know what kind of ability this is, but she just has to erase the blood. Her attack hits a giant flying blood bubble. Worse than that, it does not even scratch it, and the power spreads across the whole city, making a square of blood. Inside that zone, her energy is infinite. As long as she is alive, the ability does not disappear. So today, they are fighting to the death. Every time it is Cecilia, the artist gets serious. I'm calling it right now. I dare him to draw a cute Cecilia for us. No idea how much time passes, but Mirror is going off, saying it does not matter how much she attacks, this stuff does not stop. She dodges again, thinking she wants to help Cecilia, but the situation is brutal. The protagonist is completely pinned down with all kinds of things coming at him, but Mirror rushes in and saves the kid as he is falling on his own. She asks if he is okay and he cannot move. He thanks her while realizing how hard it is to fight while keeping the reverse eye up when he is this exhausted. At this pace, another attack comes and Mirror has to block everything again. She is thinking she has to protect him while begging Cecilia to hold on because Cecilia is getting hammered by Abigail, and Abigail is yelling, asking where her strength went, what happened. Cecilia looks down and sees she barely has anywhere to step. She has to use flames to boost herself upward. She winds up a flame punch and says that bastard is not getting away. But she's getting attacked from every direction and she has to retreat again. She cannot even touch the ground, and attacks keep coming from the ceiling and the sides non-stop. If she focuses too much on dodging, she cannot attack, and again, Abigail comes from above with 2 spears asking what she thinks she is doing. Cecilia takes a double whip strike and gets blasted into the ground. She is down there trying to defend herself and she cannot do anything. Mirror asks if she is okay and she says yes. The important thing is they need a way to deal with that ability. The whole battlefield is inside that woman's range. Mirror says sunrise is not far, the problem is surviving until then. The protagonist notices his friend is exhausted from having to cover, and Cecilia is hitting her limit from fighting alone. He calls to them and says enough, he will draw Abigail's attention and distract her while they run. Mirror says that makes no sense, how is he going to stop her? He says he cannot die anyway, he will buy time, and that is what matters. This place is sealed and reinforced with blood, so maybe with Cecilia's ability or that Garen ult they can break out. They argue while Cecilia thinks, and then Abigail says she is not letting that happen. She pierces the protagonist's chest and arms, and he starts losing consciousness again. When he opens his eyes again, he is pinned on spikes through his feet, and he cannot move. He looks to the side and sees Cecilia and Mirror already got captured too. Seeing Abigail from behind, he wonders why it is always him getting saved by them. When things get serious, he cannot do anything. He tries to break free, saying he has to help them, but nothing happens. Then his blood suddenly turns golden. He begs his body to move while Abigail looks down and sees that weird light. Is he about to become some vampire holy blood mix? No, because Abigail recognizes it right away. That light is Natalie's ability. Then the story jumps, and it is hard to follow because next chapter the protagonist is waking up again after passing out again. He does not know what that explosion was, but looking ahead, the 2 of them are still alive. Someone asks what was that he did. Abigail demands he explain how he used that ability. He is scrambling backward like a lizard, saying he has to get out fast, but he burned too much energy using it and now his body will not move. Abigail is already right in front of him, all beat up, coming in to slash him. Then Abigail says ability absorption is proof of awakening. Finally, we can talk. She pours her blood on him and says unlike those 2, he is not her enemy. She is here to offer him something. What if he joins her and together they kill Anna? Wow, look at these cute little lovebirds, everyone. Scene switches to the desert where hundreds of soldiers have been killed. Anna tells some idiot to give up, asking if she is stupid. That is when she met Abigail, who was looking stylish with all that gold stuff, saying she does not run from a fight. She has thrown herself into wars for years, searching for a worthy opponent, and finally she found someone like Anna. She charges and gets sliced in half midair. She cannot understand it because Anna did not even move, so how did that happen? Anna says she actually started to like her. When Abigail wakes up again, she is staring at her hand, not understanding what happened. Did she not just die? Anna is right there saying Abigail is not that bad and explains she is building an organization. If Abigail joins, she will always have the opponents she dreamed of. Time passes and Anna says the moment has not come yet, and she already warned her that when the time comes, she will give the order. Anna is attacking Abigail on the ground, saying she should not have attacked with the Suicide Squad. Abigail complains that Anna herself gave the order and said she could use all her attacks on the opponent, but Anna says not like that. From now on, Abigail will have no connection to the Suicide Squad. She better not forget her place. Back in the present, the protagonist is confused, and Abigail says if he joins her, she will give him all the information on Anna, and she will help him grow as a vampire. She already gathered info on both Catherine and Berenice, and together, they can start studying Anna's weaknesses. On top of that, she will help him reach full awakening and make him second in command. He just needs to keep collecting the bishop's blood like he has been doing. That is because it is the only way to block the slavery Anna has over all vampires, which is a huge amount of divine blood. He must have noticed that to kill Anna, those girls are not going to help much. He must have noticed it has been hard to get stronger lately, and the stronger he gets, the closer to vampires he becomes. The girls with him will never understand how he lives, and right now they are only by his side because he is useful. But what happens the moment he kills Anna? He will probably get executed with no second chance. So he should drop those women now and join Abigail as second in command. The kid just sits there not knowing what to say. She smiles and says he looks like he needs time to think. Then she reveals that east of the Sonoran Desert is where their base is. He is confused, like, why are you telling me that? She says it is to earn his trust, and besides, that place is not even that important. He can prove his worth if in 3 days he brings the long-haired bishop there. He asks why, what does she want to do with Cecilia there? Abigail says it is obvious she wants to fight her and then devour her. Devour her how? Yeah, no, I hope not. She stands up saying she would love to keep fighting, but the sun is about to rise, so the kid better think about her offer. And then he walks away saying that it is good for him to choose the like on this video that helps Mamoru make more juicy content for his viewers. Activate the cheeky little bell, and I am out.